Welcome back, everyone, to season 3 of Pandemonium, session 8. The group has just come off a very successful gala where they were recruiting for the barony of Kata, looking to find allies amongst the Thessian nobility and others who attended to help them when Reclamation Day comes. So with their aid, the Duke or the Baron was able to assemble a pretty hardy force, bringing in the prefects, the Templars, of the Lightbringer Templars, the Councilman, Vienzacia Guard, um, adepts, and more, as they recruited and brought a healthy force and brought the Katan forces to near even with the giant army. The group at the end was able to kind of soak in their accolades as well after having defeated War Chieftain Anka in combat, as he was and at least disproving to the group his claims that they had a hand in the former Baron's death. With that, though, the group assembled their newly found forces and began to make their journey home. But before they were able to leave, they spent the night in the Ascenta Castle. They were visited in a dream by Pawa, the goddess of prophecy and dreams, who let the group know that she was going to be calling in her favor. That one day in the next month she would need aid against Zexus. She would require the group to kind of cease whatever they are doing as long as it didn't interfere with the war effort. Make their way to the astral plane and destroy one of his psionic fortresses made by his mind meld of the children of Mialo, linking their brains together. With that, the group agreed. She also unlocked a deeper potential within their soul, giving them another soul seed to enhance their strength. And let the group know, too, that one of their old enemies would be attacking them on Reclamation Day. And the group decided, she offered to tell them who this person was, where they would be, and even teleport them to them the day before Reclamation Day occurred. But the group opted not to go deeper into her favor and decided to let fate play out as it will. With that, the group was able to board the balancing act, finding just in better standing than they came in, and began making their way back to the war camps off the coast of Ascenta. And that's where we're going to pick up now. You guys are on the boat, kind of making your journey home. Is there anything before you all arrive at the war camp that you all want to do?
Nothing I can think of.
That deal that Paracoli's offered us, is that going to happen at the war camp or before we leave?
War camp.
Okay.
Well, you guys are able to have a pretty uneventful sail over. It's a pretty short journey, just taking 5 hours to kind of cross the sea between Asinta and the island where the Baron has made his stand to recruit people and to kind of organize his army to retake Kata. You all see as you arrive, the war camp is bustling with so many newcomers joining in and kind of getting settled in the camp as they begin to prepare for the Reclamation Day, which is only now 2 weeks away. You guys are able to make your dock there. And pretty much the rest of the day goes pretty uneventful as you all kind of go about whatever business you may have that day, getting prepared, getting anything ready, getting the boat kind of restocked and back, kind of back ready to sail again. But you do see as kind of the afternoon come, or kind of like near the evening time, two things happen that kind of stand out to you. The first is you feel and see, depending on whether you're outside or in the whole of the ship. Uh, you hear a heavy rain begin. Just no thunder, no wind, no accompaniment of a storm, but just a very deep, heavy rain. one of those ones where you walk through and like it's the moment you put your face outside, you're drenched. Still keeping the heat of the summer. It's very hot, uncooling, just slightly uncomfortable rain that just continuously pours down. Um, Pretty much once it starts, you've not seen it let up. But the other thing that takes place about an hour after that, you do see or kind of hear one of your red shirt guards call out that Procles, along with the beast of Kata and a wagon, have arrived outside of the balancing act and are requesting permission to board.
Sorry, you said the Beast of Kata?
Mhm.
Should I know who that is?
Yeah, you guys have seen him for a while. He's the Baron's bodyguard.
Ah, okay.
I love his nickname. Or title, rather.
Permission to come aboard.
You see kind of lifting to heavy chest off of the wagon. The beast kind of loads up, and you see Pericles kind of walk in front, and he smiles as he kind of makes his way down towards kind of where the crew quarters are and out of the heavy rain. And he looks around at the gavels and he goes, "My friends, I have come first to pay you for the services that you have accomplished for us. You all have done magnificent work at the gala, recruiting the prefects, humbling War Chief Anka, letting the giants know and the other Fessian lords know that we will not go quietly. We will fight, and we will win." That was a blow well struck. And as the Dukes promised, or I should say the Baron promised, here is the gold that you have earned from us, 10,500 coins. And he kind of has the Beast of Kata pass over a heavy laden chest with gold. And he goes, "I was quite impressed with how you handled, let's say, that situation, as that giant was just throwing out scandalous accusations. I thought you all kept your cool and stayed on message, and I wanted to let you know that we truly appreciate that."
Of course. Keeping the reputation of those fighting for us is an important part of the war effort. It was only a matter of doing what we were contracted to do.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Reputation is something of such importance. I mean, you can do the right thing 1,000 times and people will applaud you, but the one time where you make an action that doesn't always line up with what the world expects, that's the only thing they can remember. That's the only thing they talk about. That's how they define you. That's also why I came to speak to you today. You all may know or believe you know or have leanings of something that may tarnish our Baron. Baron who's leading his people, the one who should retake our homeland. And with you all, I wanted to bring you an offer. This is information that really can do much for you, but we could make it work for you. We could give you another chest of gold and allow you access to our specialists and trainers to enhance your already formidable fighting skills. In return, just a simple favor. We would like you to either allow us to remove those memories that may tell that story that or lean towards those suspicions you may have, or sign a contract that would be soul bound, indicating that you will never indicate your suspicions or what you may or may not know. Personally, I prefer the memory piece, but the Baron explicitly said that you all are formidable warriors. You've done a great service to his kingdom by saving not only his wife, but also the war chieftain, and that you would be allowed to make a choice.
Erase our memories. These memories are useful for us. Seeing the benefits that the Baron has gained as a result of his strategies is something that I look forward to using to our benefit in the future. Without those memories, I won't be able to learn from this experience.
Oh, I'm sure you could learn quite a bit. I don't know why you need those memories in particular. We're all friends, right? That type of knowledge usually would benefit our enemies.
Right. That is certainly an intriguing proposition. Do you mind giving us a few moments to discuss this in private?
Oh, of course. And he kind of goes, Hector, we'll go upstairs. And you see the Beast of Kata and Pericles make their way off the ship.
As soon as they leave, Will is just like, okay, wow.
Did they let us know what we would get in return, or are they simply asking for a favor right now?
They did. So I can't remember if I said the actual gold, but you'd get the 5,000 gold and then access to their specialists and trainers.
Okay, great. Belric would start kind of putting two and two together, which is probably already put together by everyone, and he'd be like, it seems as if Alira took this deal, because when I spoke to her about some of these things, she seemed to be genuinely confused about what I was asking about. So there's potential that they already got to some of the Pandemonium renegades.
Interesting.
Well,
right, and that's why we had to step in and take charge of the situation. We knew what was at stake. We understood what was a possible danger and we were able to prepare and prevent that outcome. If we didn't have these memories, I don't think we would have succeeded as well as we did at the gala.
You're right about that. And sorry, he just said something, Pericles, I mean, that either maybe I overlooked before, or hey, I guess look behind the scenes. Tegan had proposed this offer to us before, so we had a little time to think about it. But it sounded like he said the offer was either delete all of our memories of the event or sign a contract that we will never speak of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there is an option where we retain the memories, but we just don't.
That's where the soulbound contract comes in.
Right. Okay.
We remember, but we literally can never speak of it, or we're done so.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because I thought, for some reason, or maybe I missed it in the messages before, I thought the only option was the memory deletion thing. So that is interesting.
I mean, certainly if we have to go with one of those options, I prefer the contract, because that at least allows us to use the memories we have to improve ourselves. But we won't be able to share those memories with other allies that might benefit from that same knowledge.
Right. Personally, I'm just a little uncomfortable with the idea of just any of my memories being deleted, even if I don't particularly think that they're precious memories that I'm loath to lose. Just the whole concept of it just makes me a little uncomfortable. Actually, hold on a moment. He turns around and just looks at the wall for a second. You can tell he's talking to Rashanael for a second. He's just you guys would not hear this. Was how would that work with you, right? And she just responds, your contracts are up to you. I would not interfere. I cannot tell you things that you are duty bound to forget. It's damn, I can't just forget and then have her tell me again.
Crash would actually. Go ahead.
Did he provide a copy of the contract yet?
He has not.
Okay.
Crash would actually pipe up and just go, This is merely a standard NDA. I'm alright signing a contract. It's not the first I've signed, not the last.
We'll need to confirm if the contract prevents us even from speaking about this with each other.
Most likely, yes. You have to understand that there could be anyone listening at any time. It is merely something you keep to yourself, nothing more.
Mm.
I'm gonna glance around at the shadows in the room and see if I see any grins.
You have not seen the shadows move, grin, or anything since the fateful day with Mockery leaving.
Mm.
For one thing, it does. If anything, probably speaking very obviously again, it confirms our suspicion that the renegades had some false things to happen and they want to cover this up. I wouldn't want anything to happen to my mind either, but a soulbound contract for this price could be beneficial, especially considering if we don't, who's to say that something like this on the battlefield, if we don't agree to something like this, that the renegades aren't targeting us or we're making another enemy that they need to eliminate any sort of loose ends with.
Right.
I
It
have
is
a
a value.
feeling. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it is a value. Dang it. Excuse me. Sorry. It is a valuable piece of information, but you're right. It does make us a target if we directly acknowledge that we know and refuse to do anything to prevent us from sharing that truth. It makes us essentially a liability. I hate this. How did I get into this line of work?
But I doubt the Baron is so dishonorable as to order our deaths. Now, that being done without his notice, perhaps, but that seems like a whole faff about that risks so much. And that said, it sounds like I'm arguing against taking any of them. Truly, I am for the soulbound contract. It really isn't anything not to say anything about this, especially considering my position. I only just learned about that little incident.
I will point out he did have his father killed, though, right? So having us killed is not out of the question, clearly.
Well, he can try, but
Perhaps it might be a little more difficult.
his loss with all the good we've done for him.
I agree. Still, it's not something. Listen, we have so many people trying to kill us. I would just rather that list get shorter and not longer.
I feel like there's ways we could spin this to our advantage down the road, but I don't know that the potential of that would outweigh the potential dangers we'd be facing even tomorrow if we decline something like this.
Hmm.
I would say, and then Belric would say, I'd be for the soulbound contract over sort of any memory deleting. But I would still, I would look toward like Wisteria and Jeet, who kind of like my de facto smart people.
So, I actually must ask, what are you going to do about your loose end? From what it's been talked about, it sounded like that Mutt was with you during all this. Do you have anything to keep him from spilling the beans, as it were?
We don't.
Fuck.
But
Crash would not say fuck that. That was trigger. Like that would be funny to say. Crash has not said an exploitative at that level just yet.
let Crash say fuck. Anyway, no, we don't. It's an interesting point, but I also think that we don't really have any way to, especially considering like what they know, we would have no way to, like, that's not our business, unfortunately.
Yeah,
that would be something they would have to work out.
Mockery may have yet another target on his back from them.
Good. Now, thing, if you don't mind me saying, despite your past allegiance, is still a worshipper of the most heinous thing in this world and any other, the god that's so. And he just like, if Crash had teeth to grit, you could tell he would be right now. I won't grit my teeth to say this because that muddies the voice a bit too much as he goes. the thing ruins a ruin more heinously. It has destroyed Ada beyond repair.
Well, that's something that I guess Broccoli's and the Duke are the Baron are gonna have to deal with. Who knows? Maybe they'll send us to do it, but I doubt it.
I mean, if we take this contract, that'd be hard because we wouldn't be able to talk about what they're sending us to do.
Right. That's true.
Potentially, like, would we have the ability to know the news about Ada, the Dosen Federation?
Not yet. So that news would come after the
Okay.
first downtime.
Okay. Good to know.
Okay, this just came into my head. I just realized something because Crash is a bounty hunter and the Gavels have had a bounty on them. What is the current bounty on Mockery separately? Because I imagine he'd still have bounties on him despite separating himself from the Gavels.
Right now, the bounties haven't been updated, so he's still part of the Gavel's bounty for the 25,000 from Codinia, as well as a separate bounty, which I think was like 3,000. I think from High Prince of Terza. Something because whatever the cost, High Prince of Terza wanted somebody to bring him his head, like preserved, so he could hang it.
So Crash would kind of make a hush-hush whisper of, you know, given your relation with him, perhaps there's a chance you could draw him out and we could make use of that bounty.
As much as we had our disagreements, I don't think I'd like to get involved in that.
I mean, should we be in a situation where that money would be worth more than Mockery's life?
We've got plenty of money. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
It's like a good strategy to keep in mind should it become.
I suppose. Interesting. Willis just kind of looks at Wisteria, just like, You really just carved out a chunk of your brain, huh?
And now you don't want your memories being tampered with. Okay.
I mean, I imagine that she remembers everything that happened, just doesn't have any emotion in regards to it.
Hey, you have all your memories, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Note to self,
Probably feels
do
really
not.
weird. Probably the memories, like all the loves, like it's not like a breakup where you still could kind of think back, and even though they may be tainted to feel those emotions, like it's just like it's like
It's raw
dispassionate.
information.
Yeah.
And she's certainly having a very rough time trying to come to terms with all of that, but she's well used to keeping those sorts of feelings hidden.
Note to self, do not piss off Wisteria. She can collect my bounty. Hold on, I'm writing this down.
Will does have the largest solo bounty of the group.
Very quickly, I need to bring this up because we're talking about, well, Wisteria does not remember the love. Mockery does, so that is going to be a painful reunion.
Gee, you haven't said much about this. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't like the conflict that it might present down the line if we don't take either of these two. So, I'm okay with either. And then it lowers his voice a bit. After all this stuff I've learned, I wouldn't mind getting a few things out of my mind.
You're right about that. Still, it might be useful to know what kind of man the Baron is, right? Just, even if we can't talk about it, just knowing might be good to keep in mind.
Look, I think we are all agreed that we can all agree, perhaps, to make the sold-out contract. But personally, I have learned, again, a lot in a very short amount of time.
Mhm.
And a part of me misses how things were 2 years ago, before I knew about all of these various complexities.
Man, ain't that the truth? Hold on. Does anyone else in the Gabble of Irisera know about this?
Nobody outside of the leadership, because you guys had Wisteria take it out of her notes.
The thing is, we are helping the Baron, but also the Braca also has some claims to the land, and if I cannot see this war already as us doing the right thing in a very clear-cut way, which I mostly am right now, then I am afraid of failing the other soulbound contract that we have already made. What I'm trying to say is, for just right now until the war is over, I would like some amount of simplicity in my life. So sign the contract or remove the memories. I am good with either. Personally, I'm favoring removing the memories, but I'm honestly okay with either.
I wonder if he'd let us, like, if you'd like to have the memories removed, I wonder if he'd let just you do that. Since we wouldn't be able to tell you anyway, right? So, I wonder. Either way,
I mean,
honestly,
I truly mean no insults when I say this, but perhaps you should hire a therapist for the gavels.
That's why we have Beshnet.
I was about to say the same thing. He's doing such a great job at it.
The closest best you could come to that is just like bitching sessions. Like both of you guys just like complaining about whatever's going on in your lives, then going your separate ways. Not really even listening to each other, just going off and complaining.
That actually, hold on a moment. That's another thing.
Belric would kind of smirk towards Crash and be like, "You must be new here." But yeah, I would say like I'm the soulbound contract sounds like the way that the majority of us are leaning, and if we're able to get Jeet to forget his memory and that'll give him a clear conscience, then I'm all for it. And I feel like if we're all bound to one of these things, it shouldn't be an issue.
All right. This better be the last damn soul contract I have to sign. I'm tired of this.
To be fair, your other one's not a soul contract. It's just a life contract. So you'd have an afterlife in that contract. This contract means your soul could be done, and you're gone.
Well, we know Wisteria is going to read the fine print, so I feel a lot better about this than past agreements we've come to.
I mean, what he's offered is certainly going to be valuable. I'll just say, more contracts we take on of this nature, it's only a matter of time before we run into a conflict between two, and then we're as good as dead.
Right.
But hopefully
that's what I'm saying. Just got to be real selective about this kind of thing. But in the future, I'm saying, I think this time it's the right choice. But we really got to think about signing these kinds of things.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to mention my recent addition to the bylaws of the Gavel that a contract requires full consent of the leadership. But I think in this case, we're all on board with it.
They're the strongest allies we have, and by signing this, it only strengthens that relationship, and by not signing anything, it diminishes it. So, I'll vote.
Yeah, I'm on board as well.
It's certainly telling that they brought us this offer after our greatest, probably one of our greatest achievements for them, rather than when we were most in need. So I think that shows a lot of trust on the Baron side. I think I'm willing to sign the contract to show my appreciation of that alternative offer to Bleeding Memories.
All right, so shall I call him back in here? All right, I'll go retrieve the gentleman.
You see Pericles coming back in, like almost just dripping water, and he goes, "This storm has been a terrible fright, but I believe you've come to a decision."
Yes, we have unanimously agreed that the contract to never speak of anything we might know or think we know about the events on the day of the infiltration mission, we will not speak of it. If you could present us the contract for us to review briefly, then we would be happy to sign it.
Oh, of course. And you see him kind of reach into a pouch and then draw out this contract. And you see he presents it to you as well. And he goes, "Please read through it. The Baron trusts you more than I've advised him to, and really wants you to be well informed and well taken care of with this."
Tegan, would this rain be like? So Belric had spent some time in Fessia, like the Bruins and everything. Is this like a Florida, like when you're in Florida, there's like this rain that comes through every, like is this like something that he'd be used to, or is this like a bit unique of a weather thing, or would I be able to tell that at all?
Definitely give me a nature roll.
Okay.
Take a +2 circumstance bonus because you spent like a couple years in Fessia too.
All right.
I think I have a good idea of what this is, but I shall keep my mouth closed.
I mean, the ocean god wants us dead, I'm pretty sure, so...
Yeah, we did kind of wreck a sea dragon, then warped scales on our
Yeah,
ship.
that too. That, man, we have slayers. So many
What are we
people.
doing, you guys? What are we doing?
We have opinions, and that's the problem.
We're just trying to live
I
our
think it
lives.
comes down
Just trying to be
more
cool, dude.
They just won't let us cook.
We're like, yeah, we're like, oh, it'd be really cool to have these skills, though. Like, what?
It is pretty. You guys have like a one-of-a-kind ship.
I don't know if that added my 2.
It's like one of those, like, hey, look at this cool upgrade we added to our ship. My brother!
It is kind of like a person, like, because dragons are sentient, so it is like skinning a person and putting him on your car. And it's like makes it more aerodynamic.
That sounds it. It sounds so much worse.
I mean, I did ask before we did it, like, is this gonna make us look like homicidal maniacs?
No,
Not
we
to
just
people.
went for it
Not to
because it's scales.
That should be a 20. That should be a 27. Well, it should be a 26 because I shouldn't have heroism anymore.
Perfect. Yeah, you spent time in Fessia. They are known for rains, but this is a very heavy rain, especially for the summer season. Especially since there's no wind or thunder accompanying it, it seems a little bit unnatural.
While that contract's being looked at by Wisteria, I would just be talking to Pericles and what's the leader of the Griffins? Sorry.
Oh yeah, he's his name is Hector, but he usually goes by the Beast of Kata.
Hector. Okay. So yeah, I would just be like, hey, I've spent my fair share of time here and we've spent our fair share of time, and I'm now over to Bear in Fessia. I haven't seen rain like this unaccompanied by at least the temperature cooling down or thunderstorms. Do you guys know what's going on here? Have you seen anything like this before?
Hector shakes his head and he goes, "No, first is a storm I've seen like this. Blasted heat's making it hard to walk in the armor. Hoping it lets up soon, but it's an ill omen.
An ill omen indeed. We'll hope that this, that this doesn't continue into Reclamation Day, or it could be problematic.
You see, he kind of nods and goes, "From your lips to the storm god's ears. May they bless us and remove this blasted rain."
Okay.
You do see Pericles as he goes through. He kind of starts explaining the contract. He goes, "In exchange, we will provide you all with 5,000 gold coins. We will open our elite training specialist at your leisure. You'll be able to work with them and enhance your formidable combat skills even further. But to do so, you will be prohibited from acknowledging any suspicion you may have, real, imagined, so on and so forth, about the death of the Baron, or former Baron of Kata, Kese Royce. With this, then it goes into some provisions. You're banned from communicating in any form that can be understood, that goes in writing, telepathy, etc., body language, you can't mime it out. That's something that's come up before. But with this pretty standard provisions, this is just basically all you have to do is just stay quiet. We trust you as allies. The Baron, and there's something the Baron wanted me to bring you after signing this, and we'll get into that in a moment. But as I said, he trusts you more than I would, especially with your dalliance with Shinzo Z, but he likes you all. With that, one provision that we do have to acknowledge, that if you do break these, your soul will belong to the barony of Kata. It could be destroyed. It could be used for arcane, untold rituals. It could be put into a box and left for thousands of centuries. The choice is up to the Baron at the time. The other provisions we should know about is if someone violates your mind, you will have an hour to either ensure their silence permanently or figuratively. We prefer permanently. Also, your former associate, Mockery, if he does ever hint at, say, think whatever he believes to know in public, you all will be required to denounce him, call him a liar, a follower of a chaos god and deception god, general degenerate and slave of Shinzo Z.
Well,
So
I kind of already think about
is.
75% of those things, so.
May I ask, Pericles, in addition to signing the soulbound contract, would it be possible for you to do me the favor of also removing my memory of it?
Of course. That was my preferred option. You can infer or not by this statement, but it's not going to hold me liable. But I will say that the Adamantium Renegades did something similar to that side. Arog, their leader, literally said he did not trust Kavip to not say something, and he'd rather everybody just not know about it going forward.
Oh, very well. Then I think I would prefer that now. There's a possibility this could backfire on me badly if someone else were to tell me about it and then I violate the contract. But we will assume for now that those possibilities do not arise.
You guys see broccoli, so it's like that would be a tricky situation because you wouldn't know you couldn't talk about it, but you couldn't
Right.
talk about it.
Yes.
Did
Well,
anyone here give any suspicions towards the Adamantium Renegade? Because if so, they might be in a similar situation.
I mean, yeah, I spoke to Alira about it, but she seemed to have, whether her memory was erased or what, but she seems truthfully ignorant to that.
Well, I guess if she mentioned that conversation to any of her companions, her soul would be the Baron's now.
I have a feeling that the Animanum Renegades and the Baron have their own sort of deal. And they're just trying to keep us quiet. I could be wrong.
Well, it sounded like Heracles was saying they both signed the contract and then had their memories erased. But maybe But like what his fleet is interested in doing right now.
Okay.
Oh, so I had to make the Animated Renegades just had their memories wiped. They did not go the contract route.
Okay.
I see.
So, yeah, I mean, I had mentioned an semblance, like it was pretty. It wasn't like a clear I wasn't like accusatory by any means, so I don't think that they would be suspecting anything odd.
Do not worry. And this is between us. Adamantine Renegades, phenomenal fighters. They're not very curious. If you pay them and do not screw them over, they kind of just do what they're supposed to. I don't think they'll ask a question beyond this. What? You kind of see he produces several contracts. Please sign away. Injit, I will call in the Archmage and we will remove those memories for you.
Right.
Sure. As you guys sign, and as kind of like the group starts to kind of get their signatures on there, you do see Procles kind of relaxes a little bit, and he goes, "Well, this is a good thing. One thing that the Baron wished to let me for me to discuss with you, and you see him unroll a parchment map, and he places it on the table, and you see a map of Kata, kind of the island broken out. I believe the Baron, or it may have been the Baroness, one of the two of them, indicated that for your leal service that you could potentially inherit some land within Kata. And with your efforts of the gala, along with you placing your faith in us by signing the contract, we believe you are worthy to become part of the nobility within the Kata space. With this, we are going to provide you with the lands that belonged to the former city of Kanda. You would be the rulers of those lands, reporting only up to the Baron himself. You would have your ability to build what you like, to make laws for your people as long as they follow the laws of the barony and so forth. As long as you do not disrupt the Baron's rule or disrupt the Baron's laws for his lands and fight when he says fight, you all will be his nobles. We haven't come up with titles for you lot yet, since there'll be 5 of you versus 1, as the typical method usually goes in cotton succession in law. But you all will be nobles within the cotton investing space.
We have a black screen if you're trying to show us the map.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you guys don't have tokens on it. I mean, do the thing.
I gotta bring up, this was a hell of a time for Cross to join the Gavels.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man.
Just showed up on Easy Street. Like, you get paid like a ridiculous sum, and then
Yeah, what the heck?
And this is also kind of a good time for Mockery to tap out the Gavels, because I imagine it would have been quite the argument of, okay, what churches do we build here? One for every infernal god!
Oh,
No.
Lord.
We'll put the rogue one next to the Nar one and let them fight. I'm sorry, that one. He wouldn't be that jovial about it, but I'm sorry.
What was the location he was talking about?
Kanda.
Kata? The ruins of Kanda. Okay. Hey, man.
Home sweet home.
So it seems ideal. Would we have the ability to change the name? Is Kanda meaningful to you?
You see, he pauses and goes, "We'll probably have to bring that matter to the Baron, but you are would be its rulers. He's not fond of change, but I feel he'd be amenable after all the help you provided.
Well, Gavalia's taken, so.
I can see you guys like becoming like Alexander and just like naming everything Alexandria. Like this is Gavalia 1. This is Gavalia 2. This is big Gavalia.
Oh boy.
I gotta bring it up. Like the Gavels getting land is awesome, and us the potential of like looking over our not only a faction but our faction becoming a straight up like a culture unto itself. That's awesome, especially because democracy in the democracy land. But I gotta bring up, damn, do we have a lot of enemies? Damn, are we going to war real fast?
Well, I mean, this solidifies our. I mean, this is our biggest alliances with Kata and Fessia. So to have this land is only advantageous to us because they're giving us faith, and knowing that knowing we've got the enemies we have and still willing to give this to us is.
It is on the sea, which could present a problem to us in the future.
I mean, we
Also,
have
kind of the odyssey thereof. Let's go to war with the sea god on the coastal city.
I mean, as long as we win that war, we'll be fine.
It's a good way to find ourselves landlocked. And not in a good way. That's not really a good way normally anyway.
On the bright side, if we're guaranteed to get raided by dragons every month, that means every month we get to have more dragon scales.
Or
I'm more concerned about what happens when we're not around.
You see Pericles smiles and goes, I said the Baron has great faith in you lot. We'll discuss it more during the war camp meeting next week, but we are also preparing our siege, our strategy to storm the island. The Baron has requested that the Fool, and he kind of stresses Fool group attendance as well. We want the Fool group to be a part there. Wisteria and sometimes Agnijit, I know you all like to make your way there, but we will need everyone bright and early for next week's war camp to make sure that everyone is aligned.
How early?
We'll see you there.
The Baron likes to start at the crack of dawn.
Right.
Okay. Alright, nods.
Perfect. Well, my friends, this has been a grand day, or should I say nobles of Kata. This has been a grand day. I will let the Baron know that you have signed the contract. I will have the Archmage of the Talons come and we will work with your memory. With these provisions, just so you lot are aware, you can speak to those who know of this issue, but now with Jeet, you cannot speak to Jeet about it. So, if you like your friend's soul, and you like him alive,
Right.
we'd hate to have Nar angry at us due to your failure.
Very well.
And that's acceptable to you, G? Not only losing the memories, but the capacity to speak with us about them?
Yes, very much so. Something that's on Jeet's mind big time right now, after that talk with Pawa, is that we're going up against Sexus, and he intends on continuing to go up against Sexus, which involves a lot of mindfuckery. So, better this gets out now rather than it be extracted out from him by Sexus, and then that's a whole other thing.
That's a good point.
That's a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair. Perfect. Well, you see Pericles once again head out to the torrential downpour. About a half hour later, you do see a kind of olive-skinned man with a black and kind of gold staff in his hand, wearing the blue or the kind of the purple and gold colors of the wow, like the name of the Cotton royal family, Royce royal family. And you see he walks aboard the ship looking for Agnijit, and you hear him say, "Are you ready, Jeet? This will remove those memories now and forever. In their place, you will have. We will craft a story for you that you will have there. It won't feel as real as other memories you have, where they're kind of like firmly implanted. It'll almost feel like you've had a night out while drinking. It'll have that same haze to them, where you can remember all the details you need to, but it just doesn't feel the same."
I want to confirm that the memories, the suspicions, whatever, will be truly gone and not just suppressed.
They will be gone from your mind forever. There will be no way to restore.
Then let us continue. I am ready.
You see, he begins to swirl his hand, one hand on his staff, and then you see like this blue kind of lightning start to eke out from it, and then it starts to surround your head. And you see it begin to swirl faster as he chants, and kind of you see the magic just begin building and building until he taps the staff on your head, and for a moment everything goes black. And then you kind of like come to, you see him standing there, and he goes, "It was successful. Thank you for your time."
Yes. He's just blinking for a little bit and stands up and walks out.
You see he kind of gives you a nod, and then heads back out into the downpour. With that, you guys do have a week of downtime that you can spend kind of any way that you'd like. You do have the war coming up, so any preparations you all would like to do for the war, you are able to. Any training, any resources you'd like to gather, you all have this week and then another week following that after the war plans are established to kind of get everything in order for Reclamation Day, which will be a pretty daring kind of seed or daring kind of intrusion into hostile lands against an entrenched force. So you guys will have some fun on that side. But before we get to that, let's see what everybody is doing for downtime for this week. Who wants to go first?
Oh, Jeet has a project in mind.
Okay.
Ever since Will said to the Baroness, now Baroness, your chariot awaits, he's had this idea. And so he gets to crafting a chariot for himself. Not at this point remembering about, eventually we will be leaving the camp and he'll have to get it onto the ship somehow. But for now, the idea is there, the thought of him going into battle with a chariot. He knows that he can procure a war horse from around here. So he spends 2 days crafting a chariot. And with my crafting assurance, it's just enough that I don't have to roll for it.
Perfect. How does Jeet go about crafting this chariot? And then what does it look like when he's done?
Good question. So he gets a lot of the... Okay, actually, first question. Given that this is a little bit Greek-inspired, is anyone else using a chariot? Not us in Gavels, but, the Baron's forces or so on.
Yeah, they do have some kind of like Grecian style kind of chariots that they utilize. You do see most of the Baron doesn't use it himself because he likes to fly, go into battle on Griffin back. But there are definitely some of the other kind of soldiers and units that do make use of the chariots.
Yes, okay. He's going to model it after them, but he's going to just add the flourishes or changes similar to what he has seen on his side, because I believe also the ancient Egyptians used chariots. So I haven't done the research, but let's say like he makes the wheels bigger, and there's more, just like a tall back that it has in case he falls back, and then it's just 2 days of making this. The first day is getting just the first day and a half is just getting the whole compartment done, and until it's done, it looks to the others that he's just making a wheelbarrow of some kind. And then on the last day, he uses his money to buy like the biggest wheels that he can find, chariot wheels, and slap them together, and it's ready.
Perfect. Does he put any flame touches to it or fire? Yeah.
Not yet. Give me like we have a week, right? Like give me.
Okay,
some time to-
yeah.
Then yes. As he's putting the finishing touches over the rest of the week, like he does other more important stuff, but then at the end of the day, the hour before sunset, he will start painting on the symbols of Nar. Yeah.
I gotta say, because Crash throughout that, if he realizes what you're making, he'd give it a whistle and be so fucking impressed. Like, he'd look at that and genuinely would be giving such compliments to Jeet, his craftsmanship, what he's done to make this chariot. He is just, because Crash is a craftsman. He's a craftsman at heart, and seeing this, he cannot help but compliment.
And I will say that Jeet is not very good at crafting. So he's good at making things that are reliable, not things that are pretty. So you can see the asymmetry. But it's not so asymmetrical that there's a balance shift. But you can see that it's not fully sanded down. There are rough edges all around, but it works.
No worries. Crash is a docent person. He definitely prefers the function over the form.
Perfect. You're able to spend 2 days, get a wicked chariot built. You still got 5 days left. What else is there? Does G have anything else planned he's doing?
Procure the war horse. And then on the 4th day, realize that there's no way to get this onto the ship. Possibly like with Wisteria or Will or Belric, like one person with common sense comes around and be like, oh, that's great. How are you going to fit this in? At which point he'll go running to Wisteria for help and be like, hey, among your spells, have you found anything that could shrink this bad boy down so I could carry it with me?
If you can acquire some wands, I can make use of them for you.
Yes, I can do that. Okay, I can do that. I can make wands. I have the formula. I have formula for scrolls. But I can make wands. It'll just take me 2 days instead of one. I just need to find the right person to cast the right spell onto it. Austin! And then I'll go check on Austin, and I assume he's an arcane caster. If he doesn't have the shrink item spell, then we'll get someone else to cast it. But regardless, he's like making the shrink item wand and then like the pet cache wand, and that pretty much takes his whole week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that'll take up his whole week.
Yeah, Austin unfortunately doesn't have that. He is an arcane caster, but it's a sorcerer versus wizard for that one. So he doesn't have it, but you are able to kind of ask around the camp. And the Baron is pretty pleased with the group right now, so he is able to lend one of his own mages to the cause.
Oh, wonderful. All right, then. The wand of pet cache, wand of shrink item, the chariot, which for the viewers listening, I've discussed with Tegan, it's a light chariot that's been upgraded to level 7 stats so it can withstand the war and not go down with the first arrow.
Yes, so Wisteria is like preparing to cast the wand to shrink down the chariot and says, Jeet, I noticed that the left wheel has 7 spokes, but the right one has 8. I hope the asymmetry doesn't throw off the magic, because magic can be very particular. Might be missing a spoke when it grows back to normal size later, but
If you want, I can just like glue one in there right now. It won't do anything, but it'll have 8.
It's an 8th.
And the fire on the left side is almost twice the size as that fire you've carved on the right side, and she just starts like nitpicking all the little details. But she'll happily. I'm assuming it's like she has enough time to like retry, so I'm not going to bother rolling to cast the wands unless you want me to.
Oh yeah, no worries. You guys don't have to cast it right now. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, and one other thing for my records, what's your horse's name?
Oh yes, the getting off the horse. All right, so war horse. I will take the first healthy war horse that I can find, or Jeep will, but I will be a little bit more particular that it has to have a splash of color on its like forehead, which could be any color, but the more flame shaped it looks, the better.
give me a straight D20 roll. Let's see if you can find kind of a horse with like a little flame streaked mane. Solid. Yeah, you are able. I'll let you describe this how you like. You're able to find a horse kind of with that mane with a little bit of color breaking through it. What colors are the horse and kind of what colors like the horse overall, and what color is that kind of the mane?
Yeah, the horse is a chestnut. Oh yeah, perfect, right? Like chestnut with the white little flame shape, and that's the one that you find. He's very happy with it.
Perfect. Well, you spend your week crafting both chariots, wands, kind of everything that you need to do to bring this vision to life. Getting your completed product with your new chestnut horse. Oh, did you say his name was Chestnut too?
Oh no, I did not. Come back to me. There are
Okay,
a couple of things I have to name. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're talking about the chariot too. Yeah.
The chariot and and his weapon and everything. Yeah. But Wisteria, is it okay if Wisteria does cast those spells by the end of the week, so I can have like the miniature chariot and the pet catch? Cool.
Sure. Perfect. So you're able to go through, craft those items as you spend the week kind of going through and toiling. Also, we'll ask this at the end too for everybody, but start thinking too, because the Baron will make his kind of trainers and specialists available to you all as well. For the viewers, with signing the contract, they got access to a level 4 or lower lower feat from a varied mix of classes, from fighter to magus, wizard, bard, a number of different ones they could choose from. As the kind of the Baron makes his trainers kind of help push them to the next level in between their own activities that they're taking for the week. So G, you don't have to answer now, but if you do have one, we'll bug you later for it. But with that, who wants to go next?
I can go next. So, first off, Wisteria is going to be spending that money well for a couple of different things. She's going to hire some people to start installing an infirmary on the ship. She expects victory and has no doubt in her mind that we will succeed, but not without some wounds. So having the proper equipment and spaces will also help give her an opportunity to treat wounds on the battlefield a little bit better. Upgrading the invisibility rune on her armor, some potions, and then holding off on that crew quarters I mentioned now, because we should figure out some more of the details about that later. But as for and then for the special training, Does the Baron have any crossbowmen, or is it mostly just archers with standard bows?
He does have some crossbowmen. Most of those have been starting to be retrained into guns, though, especially with this new contract with Velnu and bringing in different firearms.
Okay. So for this special training, I think she would try to focus on practicing being in close quarters combat. Those giants have long legs and can move quickly, and being able to step out of danger while firing a shot and moving quickly enough to catch foes off guard as she does so, gaining the parting shot feat.
Nice.
And for the downtime, going to send 2 letters. One to my friend Juba, explaining pridefully all the details of the airship plans theft we did, specifically like how we got into the party on the airship and tricked some of the guards, and then me and Belric used our lock picking skills and my arcane knowledge, and I'll mention like the teacher and the arcane class that me and Juba had together at school that I used to disable the runes so that we could get in and get that, and point out that now those plans are available for anyone that Notisha deems worthy to access, rather than being restricted to a few select people in either Mokulin or in Codinia. And then I'll ask about how it was working on Thanos Crucible. She'd love to know some more information about how that works, or what sorts of experiences he had while designing it, helping the others working on it, testing it, things of that sort. Second letter will be to Mockery, containing all of the notes from when he left until present moment, but leaving out anything related to the former Baron situation, and all the stuff that we're contractually prevented from discussing. And I'll use, I think we have like the aviary in the ship to send letters that way, so I'll do that.
You do? That'll definitely work. So a couple questions I wanted to ask you.
I was gonna say, are we aware of this?
That was one of them.
Send my notes.
The first one with Juba, he's at a fixed location. You could definitely get that aviary over to him. The only thing is, because I want to make sure you as a player know that he works for Codinia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys robbed a Codinian airship.
Yes.
Okay.
They know
We're giving them the exact specifications of, okay, this is how we did this.
They have bounties against us.
They know that we stole it already.
That's true. That's true.
So is this like mocking them? Like,
no, he's my friend, and we went on heists together all the time in Mokulin, and I just wanted to tell about how great of a time.
I can just imagine on this cobalt, both the embarrassment of, oh my goodness, so many people had to see this letter before it got to me. But also at the same time, probably pride of like, yeah, that's Wisteria right there. If I was still there, we would have gotten those plans just like that.
She might be underestimating his loyalty to Codinia because she doesn't know much about that. But like to her, it's just he got a job there and it pays the bills, and also he gets to work on interesting stuff. But if he's like loyal to the nation, then maybe there's some consequences that she's not considering.
You know Juba well enough to know that he's your friend. He's loyal, but he's also working on a black site project for Codinia.
Communications will be intercepted. I was also imagining that on this night we would have another dream, and Powell will say, "Okay, now you have 2 people going to attack you on Reclamation Day."
You guys didn't take the deal. I just told everybody where you'd be. I just told. But yeah, you could definitely get that off the one thing. So the aviary, it would have a potential chance of finding Mockery. We don't know where Mockery is. Last time you saw him go through a portal into Shinzo Z's Hell Realm. So you could we'll roll for it on that side to see if you can get that off. But I think you may have answered this a little bit too. But I will ask again: does the party, or Did Wisteria share that she was sending her notes out to Mockery?
She would have written about it in the next morning's notes. So if anybody else reads the notes, it's all there plain to see. And she assumes that everyone does, so she's acting as if everyone's aware of what's going on. And no one's told her that there would be any reason not to. So.
Oh no, Mockery was the only one who read it, with Jade sometimes skimming it.
I was gonna say I wouldn't read this. Would anyone else here read the notes during that
I
time?
did say Will reads them sometimes. Especially considering that there have been now times when it mattered, like that he hadn't read it. So probably a little bit more often now, maybe like once a week.
So next week we'll just be pissed.
How the fuck did you even find where to send the letter to?
I think we're about to have a roll to find out.
I think when Jeet is skimming it, the Juba part, his eyes kind of glaze over, skims over, and then the Mockery is where his eyes fully land. And then it's like, what?
What?
Sending missive to Mockery. Okay. I hope he's doing well.
Oh yeah, Jeet's still holding out that faith flame. The Mockery will come back all right. Yeah. Wisteria, give me a straight D20 roll. Nice. Yeah, you kind of impart this kind of knowledge to the bird. Usually the birds, they've got some training where you usually kind of give them direction, kind of where they're supposed to go on the globe. But this one, I'm just thinking of Mockery as you toss it off into the air with your message, and you see its dark wings flap across the air as it takes off, heading firmly and confidently in its direction.
Okay, with that, Tegan, can I humbly request something?
If it's Mockery responding, maybe. Mockery's about to do something, but yeah.
Yeah, sometime within the week, could Mockery have, like, when no one was looking, no one was noticing, had sent something to the Gavels?
In response to Hysteria, or?
Kind of in response to Hysteria.
Send me over what you're thinking on that side. And we'll go through, because remember this is by bird travel, so it's going to take a bit to get there and back.
That's fair.
I'll also say that in her notes, a lot of the tone and kind of like subtext has been like the Gavel is doing much better free from Shinzo-Z's influence. We're like meeting lots of people, kind of trying to get the message across that like there's still space for Mockery here. He just needs to abandon Shinzo-Z because that's
I got the opposite from that. So like, is it like a breakup text? It's like, we're doing so much better without you.
Well, I mean, that's part of it. It's like saying that Shinzo-Z was the problem.
Yeah.
It's not me, it's him, but but like it's more ideological than emotion-based now for obvious reasons, but she still wants the Gavel to be a place where Mockery is welcome. But she has come to understand that it's a place where Shinzo-Z does not belong in any aspect.
All right. How's she spending her week?
She is going to start doing some research about the Library of Notitia that was once in Kata, and specifically the prophetess Sierra there, who a while back head librarian Olean had requested her look into while we were here. So any information she can get related to that in preparation before actually heading to Kata, she'll try to find, both by researching in the library on the books of our ship, maybe asking around some people who might have some memories of that place, but also like historical records of prophecies from that prophetess and any details she can find in regards to what, if she was turned into a ghost by Shinzo Z and Paua. So anything she can find about the circumstances involving that.
All right. Give me a religion check. You can get a +1 from the ship's library as well.
Let me double check. I also have the pocket library wand. Yeah, that's a status bonus, so I'll add another +1 for that. All right. I'm gonna use a hero point on that. Much better.
Nice. Your research is very fruitful, especially going through the books that you're able to gather kind of on Sierra as well as the Cotton Library. You do speak to some of the people around, but a lot of their information is a little bit more in passing. That the library is downtown. It's not the grandest library in Otisha, but definitely well maintained and well thought of within the community. But within the books, you're able to find a lot of historical texts kind of regarding Sierra, as well as how she wound up within the Cotton Library. The biggest thing is you found that Sierra was a prophetess initially in the time of the Infernal Invasion. The Grove saved her from a band of Infernos that was attacking her. It was actually duplicates of their image projections of the Infernal Lord's champions who had kidnapped her and were assaulting the Gavels, but the group was able to save her from them. And she was tasked, as you find with the historical books, of trying to infiltrate the Grove and then trying to kind of watch them, and supposed to be well, it depends on which of her bosses you asked what she was supposed to do after infiltrating the Gavels. If you asked Paua, she was supposed to watch them, guide over them, make sure that they were as strong, as powerful as they could be to fulfill Paua's eventual designs, using some of her gift of prophecy to just infiltrate and kind of become useful to them and make sure that she guided them on the path to greatness. But she also had another master. She had pledged herself to Shinzo Z. In Shinzo, she was supposed to infiltrate them and just bring chaos. But Sierra didn't do a great job for either of her masters, because while she was saved by the Grove, she did not find a way to gather their confidence and begin journeying with them. They saved her and pretty much left her at the next inn, and then never came back for her. And then she, not too distraught about this, decided to use the powers that she'd gotten from her newfound masters, her gift of prophecy from Paua, as well as some of the arcane and chaotic magic that Shinzo had bestowed upon her. And she went to Mokulin and tried to get rich. She played the casinos. She lived a life of lavishness until her former masters realized that she was not doing either of her jobs, and they began to punish her. Shinzo first making games with her, seeing how much he could how much he could do to make it obvious to Paua that she was serving him as well, seeing when that game would eventually get her caught. And eventually it did, with Paua finding that Shinzo had turned her own prophet against her and turned against the world Acacia. With that, Paua pretty much killed her, separated her spirit from her soul, destroyed her soul, and then left her pretty much as the shade of her former self. Shinzo, finding this hilarious, added his gift of badness as well, making the prophetess kind of lose the prophetess's shade, lose her last bit of sanity, so that now no one could tell the prophecies that she kind of spouted out in her insane ramblings were truth, lie, or just the delirium of a mad woman. With that, she kind of wandered the world for a century, just incorporeal, mad, raving about things that could be or should be, until one of the seekers for the Library of Notisha came across her, And the seeker thought they could potentially make a formula to determine what's truth, what's lie, and then brought her back into the library. And Kata, having one of their scribes around her at all times to jot down what kind of ramblings came out of her mouth and tried to perfect that formula. And that's kind of where the kind of the histories go dry on her. They know that she's been with that library for about 9 centuries, and that the seekers are working on a formula to predict what ramblings may be prophecy and what are just lies from Shinzo's madness. But you don't see anything further written about it.
Gotcha. And just to remind me, because I have in my notes that the Oline told me that the recusants captured her, and that was the group going after Will or related to that. I can't remember who they were.
Yeah, the recusants are a group that recuse themselves from the gods. They are anti-true god is probably the best way to put it. They're not as angry or is hell-bent against the spectral gods, the ones who wants for mortals, but they do not care for any of the true gods, and often will hunt or try to harm their divine followers.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, so obviously Wisteria takes all the notes on this and kind of collects the knowledge that she's gathered, and it's just kind of reinforcing some of the beliefs that she's had since separating from Mockery, her feelings about Shinzo and how he's nothing but trouble. And she kind of has a feeling of like, because she was very close to, going all in with the Chaos Knights, and just seeing the fate of Sierra, and she feels kind of relieved, but still a little terrified that she got so close to being in probably a similar state.
Fair. Shinzo likes to make games of things he finds interesting, and he often finds people of power the most of interesting. It could have very easily gone poorly for Wisteria. Yeah, you're able to go through, kind of get a little more information on Sierra. And one piece I'll give you too, especially with the recusants having her, a prophetess driven mad by 2 gods would probably line up pretty well with the recusants' philosophy of recusing themselves from the gods. And you know that they have wound up in Marin, in Mechis. The city of Marin in Mechis. Perfect. Who's next?
Briefly, I want to say I realized how long it was, the thing I sent you, Tegan, and I will apologize for its length.
What'd you send to me?
The 2 ideas I had for what Mockery would send.
Oh, perfect. I'll check those out later.
All right.
Maybe during a break. I can go next. I reckon. Is this my first week of downtime or
first week of downtime?
Okay. I am going to spend my week of downtime. I'm going to make some very small purchases around. I'm in Kata, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or no, you're kind of off the coast of the center, but you can get to the center very quick too.
Okay. Okay. So, warp wobble poison formula and shadow essence formulas are things that I'll purchase, as well as an elemental ammunition, both moderate and greater formulas.
Nice.
And then the last thing I'll do is the horseshoes for bear.
Perfect.
And then
for
bear
bear?
shoes. Bear shoes.
Does he need shoes?
Bear shoes. There's Critias horseshoes that increase his speed by 5, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a specific item for me. Okay. I was just like, wait a minute. Why are we getting bear shoes?
Yeah, no, the blacksmith I go to, he's going to be a good blacksmith. I'm going to be like, these aren't horseshoes, okay? They need to be different.
Gotta make
But
it work for a bear.
yeah. And then I'm going to spend my week recruiting.
All right. How does
Okay.
Belric go about recruiting?
Well, I wanted to kind of ask, like, if we're, I'm sorry, you said we're on, where are we?
So let me go back to the main map so you guys can see. You guys are like roughly here.
We're in Ascenta.
Yeah, kind of like right off the coast on the King's hunting island, or the King of Ascenta's hunting island.
Okay.
They loaned was brought by law.
I mean, I'd really like to see if I could recruit any sort of people that I was with. Like, I guess I don't know, like, what can I recruit? Like, in my head, I'm like, I would love to go find some of the, like, my old cohorts that were, like, the Bruins of Fessia. Or, like, maybe there's bears around here that I could wrangle, like I wrangled bear. Like, I guess I don't really know the length, like, what I can do here.
Are we talking bear cavalry?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Holy
Army
shit!
of bears.
Okay,
I don't
listen,
know.
I love Warhammer, and I'm going to mention this. In Warhammer, there actually is like Hussar Bear Cavalry, and I would fucking love for the Gavels, especially coming from Belric, the badass archer, just to bring in. Okay, guys, I went out into the woods. I brought us back some bears for cavalry.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, and this was a little while ago, but you do know the Bruins of. I'm gonna go back to Kata. I think a while back, one of your downtimes, you did look for the Bruins of Fessia, and you did find that they are in the Asivian forest, fighting in Kata. You wouldn't be able to recruit them during the downtime, but you do know once you make your way to Kata, you do have some friends out there as well.
Okay.
Recruit. You could definitely. So this would be the first Gavels. Well, actually, not really the first. You got Bear and Hyena. But you could definitely recruit. Try to go and see if you could try to find some bears to bring in. Recruit some animal companions as kind of pseudo faction members.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's an exalted sanctuary in Ascenta, so yeah, like I feel like let me try and recruit animals for a week.
Yeah. Perfect. With Bear going, well, not Bear, Belric, probably with Bear going into the forest. What does he do how does he try to entice some smart animals to join the crew?
I think so. This is going to be the first time that this kind of breaks out. I was going to break this out at another time, but I think with the animals that I can find, I'm going to arrive. I'm going to make a nice arrival with utilizing my Barding of Zephyr. This allows me to mount Bear for short periods of time and fly in. So I'm just going to fly in very impressively. And then I do have the ability to speak to animal, and I would kind of do my best to wrangle them by explaining that Festia is in danger, and the only way for the beasts to continue to remain free is to join us in this battle against the giants and to join.
All right, give me a nature check.
I'm scared.
Definitely stick with the flying bear. Now, flying bear that's fast too.
Yeah.
I
Is
think
any time to use a
this
hero
would be the
point?
time for a hero point.
I think this is a good hero point, you guys. I've rolled a 4 and a 3 so far.
Oof.
Oh, can I use a second? Do I get 2 because I was on the boat?
Unfortunately, you get 2, but unfortunately 1 per roll.
Understood.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah, you don't have anything. You don't have anything to add on that one, do you?
Another week to try again, maybe.
But... Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like almost you and Bear came in too impressively. Like this dwarf out of nowhere fly. I mean, the bears usually for a lot of natural animals are like a bear coming into their territory, that's like a thing. But a flying bear with a dwarf on top of it, like it. A lot of the animals like were just a little bit overly awed and unwilling to kind of didn't see themselves fitting a grand adventure with a flying bear and his dwarf friend.
We'll do our best to protect you, and we'll fly away.
And scared off all the critters.
Scare them off.
You just what you did right there is you showed their character. You did not want the cowards. The next time you'll bring in the warriors.
Yeah, I want the strong ones. I don't want these cowards that get afraid by a bear.
Unfortunately, just one off on that side. But yeah, unfortunately, slightly too low to be able to bring in any of the animal companions there. But you do have another week. With that, who's next?
I'm going to take it, and first off, is one of Crash's purchases. He's going to purchase a Blastfoot Greater, so he is upgrading his legs. So he gets that. Basically, this is the thing about Crash. One day you're just gonna see him, and he's going to be like somewhere in the Gavel base, just working on himself, and both of his legs are just going to be off entirely. And you can see him tinkering with them, working on them, but he's just gonna be like sitting down, no legs. Even one of his arms is partially off, as he's also tinkering with that, just trying to get everything working. And I don't know if it would just be accepted like, oh yeah, that's a Warforged thing, that's an automaton thing. I imagine that is not an automaton thing, that is not a just casually taking off limbs. So
definitely not.
To go back over it, Crash is he's been through a lot of battles and a lot of history of getting his ass beat, and since he deals with explosives, he has the assisting armor, so he has a lot of prostheses as a part of that to help him keep going. And part of that is he has replacement legs, and he's upgrading them. This allows him to, instead of once per minute, he gets a free cast of jump on himself, and it upgrades his foot flamethrower I gave him.
Nice.
Of course, it does force damage. I just flavor it as arcane fire. And for his week out, he is going to be trying to recruit for the Gavels as well. If Belric had succeeded on bringing in the critters and creatures, it would have been like, join to become part of the Noble Bear Cav Regiment. But for this, it would be still kind of making use and exploiting a little bit of the Gavel's new fame, fortune, and nobility. Kind of bringing in like, hey, you're joining a new guard, a new nation beginning to arise within Kata, a noble force, an honorable one, despite their history, and showing off all the good that they've done. And for this, if possible, I'd like to use society.
Usually with people we do diplomacy, but I'll let you get society with a -2 penalty.
I'll take it.
All right.
Crash, he's not too good with the diplomacy side of things. He usually, back in his past, used to rely on other people to sell the things he makes. I'm gonna re-roll that. I'm gonna use a hero point.
Nice.
29.
You're able to go through meeting with kind of the various refugees, kind of enhancing the nobility of the Gavels, letting them know that you guys will be future rulers of a portion of the lands, and you do get some eager recruits. Give me 1d8.
1d8 coming right up.
Nice.
7.
Yeah, you see many, especially hearing of your conquest of the giant king or giant war chieftain Anka, hearing about your noble designs. You see 7 willing Thessians join up with the Gavels, ready to fight for their homeland and fight under the Gavels banner. Bringing you guys up to what's that? Up to 42 overall faction members, and just one away from being able to make another squadron or troop out of your faction members. With that, Will, what are you doing for your week?
Saving the best for last. My downtime week is relatively simple. I am going to be retraining a feat that I have for a different feat. I want to replace counter thought with statement strut. So one archetype feat for a different one. For those of you, the rest of y'all who might benefit from me knowing this, it is basically I get a stride and then can turn off reactions of enemies nearby, so that just for a round they can't use reactions. Just by my dazzling performance, I'm gonna strut, I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna vogue. I think I'm actually gonna flavor it as just like extending my wings, and like they're gonna be just completely awed by my terrifying ancestor. But there are a couple of other things outside of the downtime that I would like to do, just like little things here and there. Like I would like to purchase a wand of Blessing of Defiance. And I want to sell my wand of Roaring Applause because I don't need that anymore because Mockery's not around. I also, this is the week we would have gotten the news from the newspaper that you posted. Cool.
It is.
Hearing about more chaos happening in Mekis would make Will a little nervous. He hasn't talked to Les in a little while, and he's not sure where she is in Mekis.
You know she's in Marin.
Great. I want to check in with her real quick. That's the place where all the bad stuff's happening, right?
Yeah.
Great. Just want to very quickly check in with her. Just be like, I heard some very concerning things on the news. Oh God, that's like half my words already. Hope you're doing all right. Hope that I can see you sometime soon.
You see, or you got to, as your message reaches out to her with the kind of the divine might of Rashanael, you do hear her reply. Goes, interesting times make for good times. Who'd want to live a boring life? But I'm as good as can be. How many words? We are fighting for what we believe in, and that is always where I'll be. And I would love to have you join us.
As always, Will is a little concerned with how eager she seems to for fighting, but I guess, Will has a little bit of that bloodlust in him as well, I'm not going to lie, so shouldn't judge. There was one other thing. There was one other thing. What did I want? Oh, I wanted to, is this the week we are able to do the training from...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wanted to actually pose it to the group because I have two options in my mind that are they both seem pretty good, and I'm like, I'm choosing for my free feat from Bard. I have two cantrips that I can get that are like AoE buff cantrips. One of them, Rallying Anthem, would give everyone around me a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws and a little bit of physical damage resistance. Seems really good to me. Last one round. The other one is a 10-foot movement speed buff. And both of those are single action. And I'm like, would y'all rather have a small defensive buff or a small movement speed buff that lasts one round?
The defensive buff seems good since it's saving throws. Like if we're fighting someone who's using fireballs or other AoE stuff like that, you can drop that beforehand and give everyone a little bit extra.
Okay.
Against it.
Yes, I like the defensive buff. There are many turns in which I don't move. And there are also many turns in which like half the team moves or one person moves and like most people don't. But we're a backline heavy party.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So yeah, I will grab so for the training I learn how to inspire confidence in my allies with a Rallying Anthem.
Nice.
I'm trying to make sure, is there anything else I'm forgetting for this week of downtime? No, I think that's it.
Perfect. Well, the week passes by. You all are able to kind of go about your various things as you prepare for the war. Eventually, you do receive the summons for.
Did you want to come back to me?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I also wanted to ask, can I buy weapon property runes from the war camp, or is that something I'd have to make?
Oh no, you can definitely.
Okay, perfect.
You guys are
Oh,
close
in that
enough
case,
to pop over there within a day. Yeah.
oh, perfect. Good, because then I'm putting, Tegan, as long as you agree, like the flaming rune is going whether you agree or not. That's going on the Naginata for sure. But if you agree with it, then I'm also putting a rooting rune onto the Naginata. I'm purchasing that. The feat that I will get, I'm being so myopic here, I love it, because I'm getting a feat just for the war arc, just for the giants. I'm getting slam down from fighter.
Okay. What's that one do again?
You make an attack, like for example, with a two-handed weapon, and then it's a two-action thing. And then after that, you make a trip attempt, and you don't apply the multiple attack penalty until after you've done both.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and you can definitely get rooting too. That's like, I think that's common, so that's perfect. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Okay. And in that case, I'm ready with the names.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. The war horse is called Inferno. It is going to be the thing that is driving the chariot. The chariot is called Leela's Flight.
Nice.
Named after my sister. Hopefully will be used in her rescue. But for now, Leela's Flight. And the weapon, for now, I'm trying not to blaspheme. For now, it's called Dragon's Fang. But if I can take this all the way to level 20, it will be called Nar's Fang.
Nice. Perfect. As Jeet gets kitted out, naming the chariot in honor of her sister, and I feel like it's almost like a little almost promised to his sister there as he tries to imagine a future where she's free, or not really free. Imagine a future where she's not under the influence of Shinzo Z. Not Shinzo Z, Zexus. Because she did join willingly, but yeah. Perfect. Well, what we'll do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, hit the war camp pieces, and then maybe a quick bit of downtime, and then kind of getting ready for you guys to hit war, because next session will be that the start of Reclamation Day, and seeing how that goes for the crew. So everybody come back 9:08, and we'll hit the last set of the session. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of Session 8. The Gavels have all gone about kind of just either enhancing their own skills, building a badass chariot, trying to recruit new members, as well as kind of learning about tragedies in the past. But they've received a summons to the Baron's war camp to begin planning strategy for Reclamation Day. And seeing kind of how the Gavels will fit into the strategy to gain a foothold on the island of Kata. You all know the Baron likes his war camps first thing in the morning as he gathers his council, and you guys are summoned there through this pelting rain that has still not ceased. But eventually you guys are able to make your way through from your ship to the war camp. You see within, at the head of the table, the Baron sits with a large kind of a large table in the middle, but across the table you see this map of Kata, kind of detailing the intricacies of the lands, where the key points are. You see on the kind of the map, it indicates like this ring of ships around it, and you see that it kind of indicates the Akarian navy is blockading the island itself, as they've recently joined in league with the giants. But next to the Baron, you see Procles sitting on his right hand. On his left, you see Velnu, and Arog sitting next to Velnu, and you see the Beast of Kata as well, standing behind the Baron. And you see the Baron kind of notes you guys come in, and he goes, "Welcome, Gavels. Please take a seat. Reclamation Day is soon going to be upon us. We need to plan. We need to have a ironclad method to get a foothold upon Kata, to push back these giants, to start the first blow that will lead to us winning the war and retaking our homeland. I've invited you all, since you all are captains of your own fleet, or captains of your own army, and I'd like to get your input as we go through and build this strategy. But please, take a seat." And you see he kind of rolls, he begins kind of like pointing at different spots upon the map. And he goes, "I'm curious to see what you all think. This is our first draft of a plan. And I'd like to see your input and see if you have any thoughts or tweaks that we could make to it." But you see him point to the city of Krenta. It's one of Kata's kind of major cities along both the coast and a river that connects it to the main city, the city state of Kata itself. And you see he goes, "This is one of the more heavily defended cities. With its connection to the coast, along with the river, it's a prime target. My thoughts are we employ a bit of trickery. Myself, the Talons, and the two prefects that'll be join us, and the Griffins will utilize the airship and attack from the air Krenta, make it seem like we are laying siege to it. We are the vanguard to our full force. But my thoughts are we use that to draw people away from our true target, your future home. I would like us to lay siege to Kata. You lot, along with the Adamantium Renegades, the bulk of our army, outside of our specialist forces, will target Kanda, finding a way to break through their blockade, land upon its shores, and cleanse the giants from its presence. Kanda is less ideal from a tactical standpoint, but it is less defended. And if we can even draw more defenses out with the airship plan, it should be easier for the taking. But I'm curious to see what your own minds lead to you here."
What is the plan for after? Suppose we take Kanda. Then there is no water route from there to Kata.
That is a very good point. There are two drawbacks with taking Kanda versus putting a full push to Krenta. The first being, as you mentioned, we would have to march our forces to Kata, either taking the bridge or fording across on the river. That would telegraph where we're headed. They would have a little bit of more knowledge of kind of our eventual routes and plans. The other downside as well is that the eastern portion of Kata is closer towards the reborn Taish nation. If we would be pushed, if we take Kanda, to move quickly, march our armies fast to our objectives, so we could not be hemmed in on both sides. But we think at least my view, is it would give us it'd be easier to land our foothold on than Krenta. It is kind of which devil do you take? Do you take the route that's going to force you to move fast, or the route that's harder to take? I'm curious to see where you all land.
Do you know anything about the scouting capabilities of this giant force? How likely do you think it is that they'll know that we're coming? Because what we're bringing is not a small force, right? It'd be difficult to approach anything, including Kanda, stealthily.
You see, he nods and goes, they'll know that we are building our forces and kind of crossing the seas. We plan to utilize some of our magics to disguise as much of the army's approach as we can. It won't be foolproof. We won't gain surprise upon the forces of Kanda, but we're hoping that the airship, the prefects, the griffins and talons making noise at Krenta, that it will draw those forces away, and at least make it a even fight.
Seems like a reasonable plan to me. Although I must admit, I am not an expert in large-scale warfare.
What do you think? You and your people must know Kata and its land and its forest, and he taps at his Savian forest. Well, what do you think of a plan to then take Krenta after Kanda to hold the whole northwest against Kata?
You see, he kind of thinks that through, and he goes, I think that would be a solid plan. If we could at least control kind of moving from Kanda to Krenta on foot, we'd avoid having to do another battle with the Carrion Navy, and we could hopefully move through the forest and come upon Krenta quickly without the scouts fully realizing our strength. I think that could be a solid plan once we have our foothold. And get us away from being trapped.
Yes, prevents Krenta potentially from enforcing the Cotton forces and any water reinforcements that Kata might get as well. I'm also afraid that the bridges might be held against us should we go to Kata directly. So, to my mind, going to Krenta first seems.
I agree.
Good, but that does prolong the war.
Prolongs the war, but it does make sure that we are less likely to be surrounded. So it does make tactical sense.
Aura could kind of speak up humbly. I'll literally say, humbly, I don't know much about large-scale warfare, but what I do know is a little bit about nature, and this weather is this rain is continuing to fall, and I don't see it letting up until then. Do we see any issues around whether it's the airships or our ships themselves? Do we see any issues this rain preventing? Will the rain create any issues for your airships in Krenta?
It'll be able to fly. It's not ideal to weather. And you see, you hear him you can audibly hear him grind his teeth as well. Talked to the priest. The goddess Y is angry that we called her servant a liar and called her magic ineffective at gathering the truth. She's demanded a sacrifice from us. At this point, I have refused.
That's troublesome.
What sort of sacrifice?
She wants 1/10 of our treasury to be dumped to the bowels of the sea. She wants all those who have lied against her to cut their tongues out in penance. I am hoping that her mood will eventually change, but for now, we are proceeding without.
So we
This
should
is a bad
proceed.
time to say I can't swim.
Yikes.
Is sea travel going to be possible at all with the goddess of the sea directly opposing you?
He kind of grind. You hear that grind intensify. He goes, "Our priest have committed that outside of the rain, Wyatt is still committed to remaining neutral in the conflict. But the goddess of the sea is known to be mercurial and changing. They don't believe she will directly harm the war effort, and you can't see him look at you guys directly. He goes, she may target you all in particular.
Okay. Balrock would kind of turn to the group and say, like, well, I mean, yeah, we knew something like this may happen, but it's not ideal, but it may give us a little bit more of an element of surprise with them not being able to see a fleet coming in with all the rain coming. That's the only advantageous thing for us.
You see, he nods. Maybe it can't work in our own favor for this. For now, you see, he again looks up and it goes, we've got Sanda upon our side. I'd always ride with the Thunder God. There's blood of my own than any other god within Kasia. But it sounds like we are in agreement that we'll feint towards Krenta with the airship, along with those forces who can fly. We've already heard from the prefects that Ezen and Groshin are planning to teleport themselves into Krenta. Apparently, Ezen believes he can bypass the hex, the runes protecting the city. So he is there going to go on foot and cause havoc in the city and hopefully draw as many giants as they can away. When they spoke with them, they sounded like they may have had a beer or two, but I have been told their judgment. And you kind of see he maneuvers the map and goes, now that we've confirmed our target, the next piece, and I will lean upon you and the Adamantium Renegades' expertise here. We need to find a way to get past the blockade. The Arcarians are one of the best navies, or probably the best navy in Kasia. The city lies beneath the waves. They are they grow up traveling on the water. I don't wish to have a extended fight with them on the sea. I'd like us to quickly, or at least find a path through for our fleet and get to land without having to duke it out with them. What thoughts do you all have in that regard?
That would certainly be ideal. I am concerned about, well, like you said, the most powerful navy in the area is not likely to let us through quickly. This is what they do, right? We will just have to rely on just simply being stronger. I don't see an easy way past this.
You see Arag speaks up. He goes, we did this one time back in the day. You know, when you got a big, strong guy right in front of you, sometimes it's good to kind of sneak up on him, smack him, and then make it look like his friend did. What if we steal one of send some of our squads in, have them swim up, take a ship, and have that ship start firing on people.
Do y'all feel capable of doing that?
You see Arag gotta go, look, nods. You hear the Baron go, we need multiple ships to make that work, but I think that could be a distraction. If we can get 3 to 4 ships to start firing upon the Navy and clear a path, maybe our ships could sneak through in the confusion. He looks at the gavels and goes, do you all think, unfortunately, we would probably not have you all perform this act, because we need you all to be at the front of the spear as we send you, because you, the leadership of the Adamantium Renegades, the Lightbringer Templars, we need you all to be the first few to touch foot on the land, to start claiming the beach, start claiming the bulkheads. Is your B squad up to that task?
I do know we have some very fine sailors on the B squad at the very least.
They're capable of that.
I know, in particular, Rodin is a very good sailor, swimmer, and climber. So, hey, he could probably do it.
Admiral Rodin?
Perhaps.
You see, he goes, good, we'll need sailors to take the boat. But with that plan, we would send your B squad, Adamantium Renegades, I believe you call yours the Copper Squad. We would send both of these, and along with the Adepts, the Stormfist, take some ships, have them start firing upon each other. And then we would, if you all are willing, we would equip you, along with the Renegades and the Templars, with longboats. Send the longboats in, they are faster than your ships, and have you pretty much make a mad dash to the shore.
I feel like we're all in over our head here, and we're like, yeah, okay, like we're just like, whatever. You let us know. You got the plan,
Listen,
dude.
man, I
Like,
know how
I'm
to
like,
tell
I'm looking
people
over
to
at,
do stuff and scare people.
I'm looking over at our war priest, and I'm like, I don't
I got
know.
pretty lights, man.
Like,
Pretty
I shoot an arrow with a bear.
My warfare lore studying at the Burning Dragon Monastery, we covered land battles and we covered volcano battles. None of the ship battles.
Yeah. So I think we need to kind of nod our cap and say, hey, you guys are the sea champs, and if you think that's the best plan.
Perfect. It seems that you all are on board with this. So, just to reiterate, my forces, the airship, along with the prefects, Talons, and Griffins, the prefects will start in the city, causing havoc. My folks will come in on the airship, flying Griffins down, and airship bombarding, us fighting 3. We will create that distraction and hopefully buy you all an hour or two as the other forces are pulled away from Kanda. With that, we're going to send your B squad, the Copper Squad, and the Stormfist Adepts indiscreetly. We'll let you work out how you want to get them close to the boats. I do not micromanage my forces. You will be able to get them onto the boats, just to have their boats start firing upon the Akarian Navy, and pretty much create a window in the blockade for the long ships that your leadership will be on to make your way to the shore. Your ship will be followed along with your red shirts, I believe you call them, in the phalanx you've trained, and the rest of our Navy, and they will push past through that window as well to land additional troops to support you all on the ground. He looks over. He goes, "Do we all have any concerns with this plan?"
Once Kanda is secure, again, best case scenario, will you retreat to all the way to Kanda, or should we meet somewhere in the middle in the Isavian forests?
We will maneuver the airship to Kanda. Luckily, our airship flies exceedingly fast, so we'd probably be there within a day to go through. We don't want to leave ourselves too long exposed without reinforcements in hostile territory, because we can ill afford to lose the airship. So we will rejoin and establish a quick camp in Kanda before moving through, as you've said, the Asuvian forest to Krenta.
Who remind me who has the blockade again? Who's making the blockade?
The Carrion Navy.
Carrion Navy. So I'll ask the Baron, is there any chance that the Carrion Navy will attack Kanda? Like, how good are they at storming land and beaches?
The Navy is top notch, but if we can get all of our ships through the blockade, we can form our own perimeter around Kanda. From what we've heard, the Arcarian Navy isn't keen on this fight, so we believe if we can slip past the blockade, get on land, they will leave it to the giants and the children of Taishara.
Okay. All right. Jeet's on board.
You know, this will be a perilous flight. We've heard that they have entrenched themselves within the ruins of the city. They have siege weapons primed and aimed at the sea. They know that we are soon to come, so this will be an uphill battle. But after watching you all fight the war chieftain, hearing about your prowess from my own wife, I feel that you all are up to the task, and I know the army that we have assembled is up to the task. My last request for you all would be bolster your forces as much as you can. Bring more recruits in to your military. We'll need all the boots on the ground that we can, because while you all will be dealing with the siege weapons and some of the high priority targets on Reclamation Day, there will be a spot for your troops to handle the fighting and against some of their other forces and kind of pushing and claiming the ruins of Kanda. So build your forces up as much as you can and be ready for them to fight for the glory of Kata.
The Acarian Navy is maintaining the blockade. Do we know anything about the plans or movements of the Reavers of Tawa that have aligned themselves with the Giants?
The Reavers have entered into an alliance, but it does not seem that they are coordinating combat strategies for defense of Kata. What we've seen so far from our scouts, the Reavers are mostly trading with the Giants, utilizing their pillaging as well as their captives to pay the Giants for more weapons and armaments, as well as food and other stock for the Reavers. We don't believe that at this point they will come to their aid if Kata is under siege, but we will keep an eye out for them. Our scouts have reported that many of the Reaver ships have lately been departing towards Messia. We think they may be playing a part in the Great Clash.
If they're not truly being allies to our enemies, then perhaps there can be a bit of, well, I hazard to say, subterfuge, but more so. And he looks towards Will and Mysteria. Diplomacy. If they're simply after weapons, armaments, food, though they have a history, perhaps they can be allies.
Reavers, thieves, cutthroats. These are the people you'd have at your back at war.
Not at our back, but at our enemies' throats, perhaps.
If you believe you can bring them on board, I will not have them fight along my forces, but you can have them along your forces. Those who would betray another for gold and food will betray you for gold and food. I would be against bringing the Reavers in.
Merely thinking out loud. And your opinion is noted and appreciated.
Now, it'd be better to turn them against each other. If you want to come some subterfuge to do that, more power to you. But as allies, the Reavers, they lack the discipline that I prefer in my friends.
Crash his head doesn't turn to Wisteria, but you can definitely tell like he's somewhat like keeping Wisteria in his peripheries there.
Yeah, she's, taking notes as usual, but definitely looking down at her papers and pens, not trying not to make eye contact with anyone, and just kind of like retreating into herself as the Baron says all of this.
A thought occurs to me. We all heard the demands from the goddess. Why did you? I almost hesitate to say this. How much negotiating did you attempt on that particular sacrifice?
Honestly, we haven't tried. Negotiating with the goddess is perilous.
I must say, frankly, I'm a little tired of it, but I'll think about it. It may become necessary. This is me suddenly thinking out loud, like, what if I try to use my downtime to, like, talk to Y instead of into, like, staying out of this a little bit more than we perhaps wanted? She is thinking of doing. I don't know. Maybe not. Might not be possible. We'll see.
Perfect. What else are you all thinking with the war cap? You see, he goes, well, I'll leave you all to your preparations. 1 week's time, we will set sail. We will head to my once and future homeland, and we will liberate it from those despotic children of Taish. We will sail, we will fight, we will win, and by Sanda's might, we will push them out. Go, prepare, rest, because in a week's time, we go to war. And with that, he does dismiss you from the War Council, and then we can go figure out what you all do for your second week of downtime.
Actually, may I request a moment between Crash and Wisteria?
Yeah.
So after all that is done, probably about, I'd say, half an hour to an hour after, Crash will try and find Wisteria, preferably away from everyone else, and just kind of... Where would Wisteria be? I'll ask you, Chris. Where would Wisteria be, like an hour after that meeting?
Probably heading to the library on the balancing act, to start doing, this isn't part of the downtime or anything, but just like in that moment, probably like confirming some of the plans that we made at that war council against like her notes about geography of Kata, and like, thinking about like where we'll be sending the B squad and things like that, and just doing some more collection and organization of data.
Hail to you, Wisteria.
Hi, Crash. Is there something you were looking for? Anything in the library? Any questions you need answered?
I was looking for you. I will not play dumb. I've heard of you before. You are Reaver. by birth, are you not? Grew up on, or at least was born upon the back of those dragon turtles.
I mean, I can claim that. I can claim the heritage from the greedy bastards of Mokulin. So, but you seem to be impressed by their business savvy. So, for your perspective, yes, I'm a Reaper of Tau.
Well, consider me content. I've traveled the world and met many folks, many deplorable individuals, one that deserve all the hate they wrought. But the Reavers, I like the Reavers. Yes, I've been screwed over by one or two of them over the years, but they've always been great hunting partners. They've always made for a great tale or trip, and if you have enough gold, provided you are strong enough to keep them from taking it from you, and they make good companions for sailing across the seas. I've even had dealings with them before. Once, I met a Reaver, an orc so massive, so mighty, that just standing in the shadow blocked out any light from the sun. He was definitely a character. And Crash would have a mirthless chuckle for a moment before continuing. He commissioned for me 2 guns. One to represent a brother who had died by his side, another to represent a wife who laid at home. I only made the 1 gun. He wanted something massive, a heavy gun that could break through walls. Mind you, when I built this, if any other person were to hold it, it'd take 2 hands. He planned to wield it in 1. I believe he's still alive. Somewhere in some work camp, captured. He won't miss this commission.
And he will give to you one of the guns he's kept with himself. He's going to give to you the, if I can find it real fast, yep, the Barricade Buster.
Mind you,
As he puts it down into your hands, it'd be quite weighty.
this requires ample strength to use. But I am not without equipment.
He'd hand you a tripod, several silencers, and the ammo for this gun.
If you take the time to learn it, this perhaps can show some pride in your people. If we become working with those, as they are, pirates and thieves, I wouldn't have no issue with it.
It's a generous gift. I've had Reavers tell me I'm too small and weak. I've had people from Oakland say I'm too savage and brutal. But to combine your technology with such a huge weapon that I otherwise wouldn't be able to use, you've given me many ideas on how to take advantage of your expert craftsmanship.
Of
Thank you.
course. Well, there is one more thing. Originally, this was a single shot gun, but then, of course, I took a look at your crossbow, if you remember, those days ago. And I tried my best to come up with something that's worked just like it.
And the thing with this is, it is a repeating gun. And you'll point that out.
Yeah.
The last thing he'll do is I'm going to be using my feet real fast to let's see, where is it? General feat, precise consumable, and there actually is a dragon turtle scale talisman, which let me double check and make sure I got the price on that right to subtract from there, and he'll flick it over to Asteria.
A gift from, funny enough, a different reaver I've worked with many, many years ago, before your time.
You make a good gamble. She holds the talisman close. Do you want to help me set up this barricade buster on the deck of the balancing act? I think we could make use of it to plow through that blockade. And yeah, I'll spend my downtime practicing with it and getting the hang of using a firearm.
Grass will need aid with that. So a dragon turtle scale greater is a talisman of 75 GP worth, and basically it's a one action thing that you can use to gain a swimming speed up to your land speed.
I'll fix that to my armor. Looks like it's a one-time use, but that'll be
Yeah,
handy if I ever end up in the water.
Yeah. Sweet. So Wisteria, you're going to spend the week learning firearms. I will say that one's unfortunately an advanced weapon, so I think you'd have to pick up one of those feats to grab it. But you could definitely spend the week learning other firearms, or even using that without the proficiency bonus.
Gotcha.
I forgot it is an advanced weapon. Luckily, it has the orc trait, so if you get orc weapon familiarity, it should work, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Okay.
If there's anything else. I'll look and see if there's anything I can do to work around that, but if not, we'll see how it turns out. But either way, I do want to learn how to use firearms during my downtime.
Perfect. All right. What's everybody else thinking with their downtime?
Well, I was planning. I mentioned something to Tegan a while back, but I think I'm going to change my mind because it seems like it might not be necessary. But I was going to try to influence rumor and try to make sure that there's no odd conspiracy theorists or naysayers that are still like saying that the Gavel were responsible for the thing. But I feel like that might not be necessary. Instead, I was going to recruit, but what if?
What if?
What if I try to commune with Y? Would that be... Is that a dumb idea?
Try to what?
Commune with Y. Try to get the sea goddess to stay out of this.
Does your goddess, like Hikari, have any connections to Y?
Good question. Nothing I know of.
Not direct connections on that side. They're both Shaper gods. Communing would definitely be possible. You know that Y's kind of mood shifts with the sea. Definitely possible for a week of downtime. Try to see if you could commune on that side. It will be difficult, and she'll likely still ask for some type of price. She feels offended that you guys called her a liar, or her servant a liar.
Who did we call a liar?
War
The
Chief
guy
Knock.
who accused us.
Yeah. He came with a writ
That's-
from the goddess herself, asserting that no children of Taish killed the Baron.
Thankfully,
Oh,
Chief
well-
has no memory of any of this right now.
Oh yeah, true. He's like, things are golden. Yeah, things are golden. I got a war
Technically,
chariot.
I mean, it wasn't us. Yeah, I mean, there was some truth to it, but okay.
I only spoke the truth during that whole exchange. I did leave out some things, but I didn't say any outright lies. But that's not the point. Because I did call her servant a liar, I think.
I think it would be. I think it would be pretty cool, or I think it'd be interesting too.
I'm just wondering, like, I don't think have a very high chance of succeeding, or I'd have to give up something equivalent or at least close to a tenth of the treasury of this whole dang nation.
Yeah, I guess that's.
Oh, it wouldn't be you solo. The penalty would it would be the Gavels as a whole making a sacrifice.
Yeah, that's
I
what.
will
But
say
even then,
that might actually be worth getting the sea goddess off of our back. I'm just saying there's history of people being on the coast declaring war on the sea goddess for ourselves. Sorry, sea god on ourselves. I believe there's a thing called.
I mean, I don't think it's in vain because like if we're battling a blockade on top of the enemies that are already in Kanda, on top of the sea and the weather, like that's a lot we have going against us. So if we can get one of those off our back, or at least understand what it may take, I don't know. In my head, it seems worthy, but
yeah, I'm just worried about like whatever she demands. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay it. Even if it's not like monetary, it's going to be something big, something equivalent or at least close to a tenth of a nation's treasury. It might not be money, but it's going to be something like that, something as good as that. I don't know if I have that. And I can't offer any more favors and debts or anything like that to gods, man. I'm done with. I can't do it again.
Can't do it.
I can't be in debt to even more gods. It was just an idea that I had, but maybe if my religion score was really high,
possible.
I don't hate it.
With your religion, why is not really a long-term god or goddess. She's probably not going to do a favor. It's just going to make you do whatever you need to do right away.
I guess it can't hurt to ask. Otherwise, I was just going to try recruiting and buying a ship. Can I buy the ship as a separate thing from the downtime activity, or is buying?
Yeah, you guys can definitely make your way to Ascent and purchase the galleon without having to use downtime for it.
Because I think, like, just with me and Belric, and like, if we could pool our money, we might be able to buy a second ship, so we wouldn't have to worry about the capacity of the current one.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for that. And then I Crash donated 1,000, which is way too much. Absolutely, that would mean I think it's 1,800, so it'd be 400 for you and I, Will, and 1,000 from him. So
I think we should do that.
Yeah.
So whatever I decide to do, buying a ship.
The ship.
Can somebody else go first so I can have a little think about this?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll pop off real fast. Back to recruiting.
All right.
So Crash is looking to recruit even more to the gavel. Now, I know Belric is looking to recruit to the gavel as well. If you're still going to do that, right?
I am.
When I use Crash's downtime in aid of Belric's attempt to recruit to the gavel some woodland critters, some bears, some beasts of war.
Well, I would say you certainly can. But it may make more sense for you guys just both recruit and kind of work off of each other. Versus, because that way you can still get your own recruitment in too, versus just kind of giving him like a +2 to 3 bonus. Or
yeah,
is it 3 bonus now? But
we are
you can definitely do so. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just like,
we get 2 rolls each, so I feel like.
You know what? Yeah, Crash is going to kind of follow in Belric's footsteps. Then he's recruited men. Now it's time to recruit monsters. Or rather, mammals, reptiles, beasts, whoever will come. In this case, likely bears, since Crash actually does have a bit of a kinship with bears.
Oh
my god!
All right, so Crash is going to try to recruit some of the nature and wildlife.
Indeed, following in the footsteps of Belric.
All right, that'll be a nature roll.
Could I argue for survival by chance?
No,
Oh
unfortunately.
shit. I physically can't do that then because my nature is not trained. Damn. In that case, I guess I'm going to have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to recruit the normal way. So, in this case, am I allowed to recruit the same way I did before, using the noble name of the Gavel, sir, newly noble, as well as the idea of reclaiming this homeland? Kind of picking up on the thing that Velnu was starting to talk about, reclaiming home, as that like shared little shoot, what's that's called again? Whenever you have a little thing you say to kind of advertise something, very short thing.
Oh, like the not tagline. It's called branding for now. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that branding. Yeah. In that case,
Yeah.
society -2, right?
Exactly.
Hell yeah. Damn. Let's hope it's enough.
Not using hero point.
Oh wait, we got 2 because of the ship.
Yeah.
That's right. I will use my hero point. Reroll using a hero point.
Oh,
That this has to be a bug of some kind. So with that one, I clicked the thing and clicked reroll using a hero point.
We've tried it with and without the hero point thing. It's just, you guys just have a weird luck when it comes to rolling that same thing.
It just goes to show it's not luck that is the issue, it's the skill. It's a skill issue. So
Crash, you go about trying to recruit, kind of bringing that same message that was so successful last week, but you found that kind of the people that it worked on joined up. And then this time, a lot of them kind of give you some polite applause. They nod your head and kind of say, free the homeland. But nobody really is willing to put their life and blood on the line at this moment to serve.
Damn. All right, Belric, back to you.
I mean, Dark, you got it this time. I mean, because what's your nature? It's like 20? So you've got like a very good chance.
yeah.
You've got a
I know. No, you're good. I mean, I think I'm going to take a little bit different of an approach. So
Right.
I'm still going to do it's the same methodology, right? We're still in the center, but I'm going to go outside the Aurea forest and look for animals, predators, and I'm going to use kind of like speak with animal and just kind of like, my argument is going to continue to be the same thing, but like, hey, you need to do this for Hira, you need to do this for the exalted, what is it called? I'm sorry.
Oh, the exalted sanctuaries.
You need to do this for the exalted sanctuary to restore nature, to keep everything pure in Fessia. This is the only way, and I'm going to try to again recruit whatever sort of beasts I can find outside of the exalted sanctuary, and I'm going to lean on Hira and Warden of the Wild.
All right.
I have a distinct memory of those sanctuaries holding dinosaurs, and 2 of my characters being independently killed by dinosaurs.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, that's right.
Those are the one shots. Yeah. All right. Give me that nature roll. Nice.
Holy shit! Yeah.
You come through. And is he still riding bear and flying?
I wasn't at the time, but now I feel like with the crit, after the rallying cry, I hop on bear and fly the fuck away on him and an army behind me. But no.
You fly through. You see bear howl out with this just ferocious roar, and you see like Of course, Bear's name is Bear, but you see a legion of other bears coming out to meet him. Give me a 1d8 plus 3, I believe.
This feels straight out of Lord of the Rings, I gotta say.
This is so cool.
It is so cool.
My dreams are coming true, Tegan.
Oh,
What the hell? Max rolls, dude. Give me the bears.
You see a lot of bears come prowling out. You see them lift their head up and they roar back at your bear as they kind of not they roar back, lift their heads up, meet Bear's eyes, and then almost give like a dip down with their head and paws as if it's a mock bow. And you see as you start to trot off riding Bear, the 11 bears follow you back to camp.
okay, so we're gonna have some bear cavalry. Let's go!
Oh, that's so dope.
So now you guys have another category. You've got what? However many red shirts you've got now, and 11 bears.
Okay, our next legion has to be bear flavored cavalry. We have to.
I was thinking like if I succeed in the first one, I was gonna build a chariot, just like I would have seen Jeets, and be like, I need a bear flavored chariot.
Yes.
But
You want to get the Barriet?
a bear. Oh my god.
Bear cavalry? No, bear chariot.
All right, listen. We need a
Sorry, go ahead. I keep interrupting.
We need to convince the Baron to delay the war for a week so that I can get the training to use the barricade buster. We
The
can
Baron.
get the bear cavalry trained up.
Baron, I know you have a war, but have you heard of the Barriet? Have you heard?
I gotta bring this up because in Total War Warhammer 3, there actually is a bear chariot, and what it is it is a bear basically hauling a small artillery piece on a sled.
Oh my god.
I'm just bringing that up as an idea.
Perfect. Well, I mean, we definitely have to the Bear Cavalry Legion for one of your legions, or one of your not legions, one of your troops now. Sweet. We've got Crash. We've got Belric. Wisteria, I'm gonna pick on you next. How do you go about your firearm training throughout the week?
So you said Velnu was like offering to train people, or?
Oh yeah, Belnu has been like selling like this whole time. Like he's importing weapons in. He's the main importer for the Baron for guns, and he is offering the gun courses to anybody who's willing to pick it up. So if you wanted to learn on that side, you could definitely find him. He would be more than happy, even with him not really caring for you, to teach you what a gun as well as start selling. Or have one of his instructors teach you as he sells.
Yeah, I'll approach him and request the lessons and like not give any inclination to the bad blood between us. Just view this as purely an exchange in the interest of retaking Kata.
And Belden reveals it as a pure exchange of business. And he goes, "Oh, why? Of course. Guns are the way of the future. Please, I'd be happy to have one of our trainers teach you what these new weapons can do, and hopefully I'll see you in a Velnu Corp gun as we retake the cabin. But please." And he kind of waves over, and you see this grizzled human with a rifle strapped to his back, 2 guns in his holster, and he goes, "Boxing over there. We'll show you everything you need to know. Welcome to the future, Wisteria." And then he sends Boxing through. How does Wisteria's train go for him?
I imagine that certain things are very similar to using the repeating crossbow. She's very familiar with reloading quickly and keeping track of ammunition and aiming down the sights. But there's also some certain habits that she has with the crossbow that takes some unlearning before she can get the hang with the gun. The kickback is something that she's not used to at all. And like managing the black powder and ammunition, and like the heat of it coming off is something that she has to get the hang of. But she's a good shot, and once she gets all those bad habits unlearned and the good habits learned, she's able to hit the bullseye, more often than not. So with this training, I get proficiency in all. I think could rogues get all martial weapons, maybe?
You match your proficiency. So as a rogue, you've got martial and simple weapons, so you'd have your same proficiency in martial and simple weapons, your firearms.
Is there any way I can, even if it requires like retraining one of my ancestry feats or a general feat or something, get some method of getting the advanced weaponry needed for the barricade buster to use for the retaking of Kata, or is that something I'll just need to spend time practicing later?
Unfortunately, you would need to spend a week of downtime to retrain the feat for that.
Gotcha. I'm just trying to confirm my options. Would it be too late if I decided? I think there's might be a fighter feat related to getting advanced weaponry. If I decided to do that instead,
you can switch that around if there's a feat for that.
All right,
Oh yeah, there is. It is level 6.
I'm not
Yeah, it is level 6.
yet, but level 6. Okay.
There's I think there are multiple ancestry feats, but yeah, you'd have to retrain.
All right, I'll just retrain one of my ancestry feats later on, probably.
Yeah, there's the orc weapon familiarity, and then on human side, I think you can get unconventional weaponry. I think.
Yeah, so I have that already, and that's how I'm able to use the repeating
Right.
crossbow. But that's just one weapon of my choice, or related to ancestry, I think. But yeah, so that's. And I think every now and then she'd like check in with Crash to show off some of her skills she's learned, and also get some pointers from him outside of the training from Velnu's instructor.
He would look at you with pride.
Nice. Well, Wisteria, you have a successful week. Kind of getting, probably not just familiar as a crossbow, but definitely getting comfortable with using firearms and kind of putting your own natural skill behind their use. Will, how do you guys spend your week?
For Jeep, if we have enough to make a second troop, I think it's time to make a second troop. Although this one will be mix of bears and
the bear cavalry.
Bear, calf.
What I'll say is we did I forgot to do the first round of the faction downtime. So if you wanted to spend the 2 faction downtimes just turning whatever you guys have left into troops, or you guys have 2 faction downtimes to spend, is what I'll say.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
okay with that, but I'll also leave like a lot of the bear troop coordination stuff to Belric. Like, how do you want me to do this? Because you'll have to translate for me.
I mean, I'll let you lead the way and I'll translate for you. But I mean, my assumption was like after this war, they would be free in Fessia. So I don't know if that impacts anything, but like,
I mean,
yeah,
if we recruited them to the Gavels, we recruited them to the Gavels.
Wait, what? I mean, what?
But my like, I guess like my flavor is like that's what I'm recruiting them for, is like for them to keep Fessia safe. So like, I wouldn't want them bound to travel throughout the nations. Like, that would just be kind of like where my character where Balric would come from. Is like, I get it. It would be awesome to have 11 bears with us, but I also like think that's kind of this is like a one and done thing for Balric.
But that's okay because we are going to have our HQ in Kanda, so we can have them be.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. So they can come and go. They can come and go.
They're the home team.
Good to have. Jesus. This is crazy.
Perfect.
So Tegan, if I tried to, we have 11 bears. We only need 5 more to round it out to like make a full troop.
A full bear, like a full bear troop. Yeah.
Yeah.
5 more. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the DC again to try that out?
So on level DC 27.
I want to give it a shot.
Oh shit! Let's
God.
go!
Fire bears.
No, just
Fire bears.
regular. Fired up bears.
To be
Just
fair,
regular
even
bears.
Belric cast Fireball.
That's true. Oh my
How does
God.
G go about his recruitment of some more bears?
It involves a lot of just hanging out with Bear and letting Bear,
I would have 11 bears on my hand, so I would give actual bear over to Jeet to kind of help.
Yeah, I just need Bear to vouch for me that I'm
he's rolling around.
cool and we're going to take back Kata. And then there's going to be a forest there, and it's going to be good. Lots of fish from the river and forest and Kanda. There's just a lot going on, but I just need someone to translate it out for me.
All right, give us that nature roll.
Thinking
Nice.
about it. Oh my goodness, another 19!
Oh
Holy
my
shit!
God.
What a way from a crit. You go through. Bear vouches for you heavily, but cheat your own kind of just authenticity. And speaking of the forest, that could be their home. You encourage another group of bears to come and join the Legion. I wish you was one higher, get that crit bonus, but otherwise, just give you that 1d8.
I mean, I can certainly try for the hero point right now.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah.
Crit fish.
Nat 20.
Oh my God. Hey. All right. Hey.
Wow.
This has to be a bug of
Let's
some
continue.
kind.
So, what do I roll?
1d8.
1d8. Yes!
Yes! Oh my
Alright.
goodness!
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I should have another hero point just in case you wanted to re-roll the d8, but I shouldn't have been worried at all. You hear Bear roar again into that forest. Another 8 bears come marching out. As you guys now have 19 bears. As pseudo members of the Gavels.
Okay, so do they get this thing of okay, we get to choose what kind of legion they are, whether they the bears have shields strapped to them or something like the other one, or is this they're their own animal legion?
They're gonna be their own animal. I've got to make a bear legion.
I was gonna bring up there was that arcane archer bit, some spell casting bears going into melee sounded sick as fuck. Using the power.
Fortunately, they won't be able to do that, but I've already got a couple ideas for them. They're definitely gonna have a frightening roar type thing because I feel 16 bears, no matter who you are, they all roar at once. That's
Yeah.
That's good.
Also, just even though I rolled for them and everything, this is your troop, Belric. I'm not touching them. I got my troop. I got the phalanx with their shields. I'll be managing them. This is your troop entirely.
Yeah.
I gotta say, what a fucking legend Belric is at this point. He is riding a bear into combat with a legion of bears. His bear can fly.
Yeah, this is absolutely wild. This is beyond my wildest dreams. I've accomplished all my goals already in Pathfinder. I'm done after this.
I mean,
Bear now has an army of bears.
I have an army of bears, and I can fly on my bear.
I'm just saying, if you decided to retire Belric to be the noble of Kanda, after this,
at the end of this, I'm gonna be I'm just gonna be oh yeah, that the Baron killed his brother, and then I'll retire. That'll be it. So.
Will you be dead?
Yeah, you're retiring in the afterlife, but that is one way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
I know who my backup character is going to be now that we have bears on our side. I'm going to be playing a bear.
Is there a bear species?
Actually, yes, there's a awakened animal.
We were talking about
it's allowed.
We were talking about the Sea Squad. It's
The
them.
creature
We
crossed
found them. We just recruited them.
God.
Oh, got me. All right, I was taking a sip of water too.
Actually got
That's
to
wild, dude.
take.
In my head, I was like, earlier, I was like, maybe I can recruit like some like cats or and then like, oh, I can recruit bears. This is
Hey,
beyond my
Keegan,
wildest dreams.
have you done Honey Heist as a game of the month yet?
Yeah. No, honey,
Add
I
it
was
to the
Perfect.
Oh God.
All right.
All
So
right.
you guys have recruited a shitload of bears. Enough for your own bear legion. You guys recruited 7 red shirts as well. And we'll throw, because you guys have too many bears in the bear legion. So you can even throw 2 bears into whatever squad we make. So you guys have potentially to train 2 more squads to join up for the war effort. But
I just
we have
realized
one-
something. I need to bring this up. We recruited more bearers than humans, first of all, and second of all, we have about, what was it? How many bears do we have in total?
19.
19, and we had 42 humans, meaning we are damn near close to having half of our 1/3 of our entire legion being bears. I don't
We
mean
have
to
to be
harp on it for
stopped.
so long, but that is so cool.
We have to be stopped.
We have to be stopped.
You guys rolled max roll because Derek crit and got an 8+3. Jeet got a solid 8. So you guys are just like when you guys recruit bears, like you know how to talk to bears. So the gavels may not be great at talking to other people, but bears, you guys excel at that.
I just gotta say, okay, first of all, the official Gavel's animal has to be a bear. Second of all, we gotta add a bunch of bear motifs to our game.
And there's got to be something. Yeah.
Now.
No, we gotta. Gee, you gotta etch some sort of bear into that chair of yours.
Tegan now has to make a token for the bears.
He needs to make a squadron of bears.
Wait, I just
token.
realized, hold on. There's 2 bears over, right?
3 over,
Bears.
so enough to kind of like put bears in another troop.
I'm just saying. I know
Too many
G,
bears.
you just got the horse, but you actually could have the bear-drawn chariot.
I'd be okay
But
with that.
the bears Inferno or the warhorse is Inferno. Like there's some good flavor going on over there. I think we got
There's a theme.
there's a
And
good,
it needs to
and
be.
he's got the I was gonna have this thing where I like spoke to the animal and I was gonna be like, this is not the best horse, but it had the best flame thing on his face. But no, that's really cool.
All right. So you guys have some recruitment. But Will, we're gonna pick on you now. Are you
Now's the time.
trying to make a entreat a goddess?
All right. I'm going to do it unless somebody says right now something to stop me. This is your last chance to stop me from doing something dumb and getting us in even more trouble.
Pop off, you got this. I believe in you.
All right,
Player
so
and character both.
I am going to spend some time each day, because it's going to take a while. You can't just like not any random guy can just walk up to any beach and just like, hey, sea goddess, you want to chat? It's gonna take a little bit. I imagine there's probably a Temple to Y somewhere.
Oh yeah, the storm, like not like a really, because this is like a little kind of makeshift war camp, but there is like definitely like an altar. The gifts have been left to you within the war camp, or we can even go to a center where there is like a really nice temple if you want to go to the mainland.
I think I'm gonna go to the mainland, spend a little time like getting to know the priests, or maybe just a priest. Just spend like talk to them, discuss with them how tell them what I'm planning to do to try to commune and like get instruction from them on how to commune with the sea goddess. And then every morning after that, Will goes out to the beach, just any beach, Rashanael probably would come too, just to like be in the presence of a goddess. She's real into that for some reason. Weird, huh? And so Will sits down. Rashanael never sits. She kind of hovers two inches off the ground. And the two of them just like watch a sunrise over the water and attempt to commune with the goddess of the sea and try to find out why she is supporting the giants and what we could perhaps do to convince her to stop doing that. Not even necessarily get her on our side, just stop supporting the giant side.
All right. Give me a religion check, Will.
Oh boy, here we go. I am not terrible at this, but I wouldn't say I'm good either. But I believe in myself, and that's the most important thing. And I also have 2 hero points, so I'm gonna. It's getting close to the end of the session. I'm gonna use one of the hero points, even though that's not terrible. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, you need it.
This is. We have to call someone, right? We need to call tech support Foundry or something.
I need to call John Foundry right now.
John Foundry. Write a strongly worded letter.
In my head, I was just going like 23, 23, 23. Come on, 20.
That's a threefer.
Could happen 3 times. I'm like, this is it'll be different.
We tripled. That's crazy.
If we roll this exact same number on the dice for a hero point 7 times in a row, do we get a feat?
Sure.
All right, so I imagine the waves rise up and take me out to sea and drown me, and I have to play a bear.
How does your whammy work?
It's forces an enemy to reroll.
Oh, just an enemy? Okay.
Wait, here's my suggestion. A natural 20, if you spend a hero point and roll a natural 20, it's not a crit, but if you roll the same number again, it is a crit. Just move it from the 20 to whatever number is the one you were
You guys be critted left and right.
They're the same. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm cursed. I grow barnacles all over my skin, I guess.
It's
not a crit fail, I guess, so maybe not
the
worst possible outcome.
As you kind of sit there on the beach, Rashanael looking over, you see the water roll in, roll out, but eventually the tide gets a little bit rougher, and you see it begin to swirl and sparkle, and you see like these deep greens and blues and start to form within the water, these various colors, and then you see the watery outline of a woman form within a wave as it approaches, and you see the wave coming towards you almost as if it's going to engulf you, but you see it stop in midair without a drop of water hitting the sand, and you see the watery outline of a woman. You can't make out her face or her features, but you do feel like this almost divine presence around you. You see for the first time in weeks, the rain stops in just a very small semicircle around the wave, still upon you, but around the wave, the water, the rain stops. And you hear this voice, almost filled with mirth and curiosity, call out, and it goes, "Little one who called my servant a liar, you have entreated me for a week. Why?"
Why indeed. Well, having spoken with the local priests of the goddess, I would know that whether she would prefer if I stand or remain seated. So I'm going to do whichever one.
Well, I actually prefer people moving as they talk to her. She hates when people are stagnant.
All right, so we're gonna walk in the sand, and there's gonna be one set of footprints, and that's when Rashanael carried me. Well, recently it has come to our attention that you appear to be favoring those opposed to us. You know, I'm sure, that we plan to attempt to retake Kata very soon. I wish to know why you support the giants? What have they done to curry your favor? And what might I do to cause you to forget that favor?
They have promised not to pollute my seas, as you humans do so often. They promised a more natural life. And you know what? They thought of me. They offered gifts, sacrifices, prayers so frequently. I mean, you know what? You've never prayed to me till you wanted something. That's how would you feel if I found you when I wanted something and that's the only time I ever thought of you? I mean, ask your angel. She knows.
Will does not say this out loud, but Will is like, this has happened to me so many times. Gods keep just bothering me for things. But he does not say that. True. Perhaps they have offered you some sort of favor. They have promised not to pollute your waters recently. Up to we lose Tegan? We lost Tegan. I can't talk to the goddess without Tegan.
Do we need Tegan? No.
Oh, sorry, my dog laid on the remote again and turned on.
Okay.
So I can still hear you though. I can still hear you.
Okay. They have promised you sacrifices and favors and whatnot, but I was just at a temple too. It feels so strange. I was just at one of your beautiful temples not long ago. There are those here who worship you. So what did the giants do differently? Surely a similar promise on our end not to pollute your waters wouldn't be quite that simple, I'm sure.
Oh no, that'd be boring. The giants have promised that. We need change. We need new things. I mean, I feel like the giants in charge would be a new miracle, a new testament. You know, Acarius? One time they forgot to give me the proper reverence and worship that I thought I deserved, so I sank their city beneath the waves. And then they prayed to me as their city was sinking, so I allowed them to breathe underneath the waves. So maybe this could be like the same thing for Fessia. They need to realize that things can be taken away from them, and they need to give me the proper reverence a goddess deserves.
I'm curious. I don't know, how frequently do you gods speak to each other? Because the god Sanda is, as far as I'm aware, on the side of, well, the Baron, right?
Oh, yeah, he's boring. I mean, we often clash. He's honor this, duty that, glory, 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 and it's all of his little kids. I mean, one god, so many kids. Ridiculous. But no, Will, I don't really care for talking to mortals that are asking my favor for too long. You want me to stop serving them, stop aiding them in their noble quest. Don't beat around the bush. Just say yes or no.
That is true, yes.
Okay. You called my servant a liar. You killed one of my dragon's friends and put his scales upon your ship. Barbaric. You've never once, none of you gavels, given an offering to me. I like a very big offering. I'd like 3 things. I'd like for you to dump all of your gold into the sea, as well as all your potions, as well as all of your scrolls, as an offering to me. That's just to set the baseline. And that's not just all yours. I mean all the gavels. Into the sea. Maybe light a candle or 2 while you do it. I also would like you, because this is barbaric. Scales on a ship. Descalonate that. It's an affront to me and to my dragon friend. And then I'd like a sacrifice. And that sacrifice can be a person, be your own tongues, a hand, something.
Interesting. Sorry, I just noticed the message. Just polluting the sea, huh? All right. Your offer is gracious. Allow me time to discuss this with my allies, and I suppose you will see if we do it. I imagine you will know quite quickly. Might I ask one favor? Maybe not a favor, but one little extra thing. Allow me to keep one scroll. I have one scroll that's very important to me. I'll give you one of the, I'll give you here. Will pulls out his bag and fishes out his potion of emergency escape. I'll give you this right now if you want. But let me keep my scroll of guidance star at the very least. That I'm saving for a very important time, for a very important person.
Give me a diplomacy roll.
Oh God. Oh why?
Literally.
Hey, I'm good at this.
Yes, I'll let you keep your little scroll. But when you use that scroll, you must say in honor of why the goddess of the sea, most merciful and benevolent of her name. Deal?
All right. I didn't take you the kind to be interested in that kind of thing, but very well. If I can get my allies to agree to this kind of thing, I imagine you will know immediately once it begins, because things will start falling into your sea.
Oh, I always love when you mortals give me gifts.
I'm curious. The storm, isn't that? Are you fighting Sonda for that? Is that a?
Oh, the rain is mine. The thunder, the loudness is his. Hava controls the wind. So I've just been making hot rain fall. Do you like it? I mean, everybody loves hot rain, right?
Ew.
Yeah, that's the thing everybody loves for sure. Certainly appreciate it much more than cold rain, that's for sure.
Well, should it be colder? Should it be freezing? Oh, hail, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that would certainly put a lot more hindrance on us for sure. I don't think you'd be the kind to do that though, just for fun, just gonna throw hail at us. But I suppose that's not up to me to decide. I would say I would much prefer you didn't.
It'd be new, it'd be different. Oh, I love change. I'll put a pin in that. But yeah, go tell your friends to sacrifice all your gold in the sea, scrolls, potions, scales off the ship, you barbarians. And then a unique sacrifice. Hands, tongues, maybe a person, all in my name.
This is not in character, but I've just been thinking it's my turn to play the character with the eye patch, I think. What if I gave her an eye? All right, I will think about that, but sorry, continue.
And as you see, it says, it kind of re-sums it up. You see that wave that had been almost held miraculously in the air engulfs you and then recedes back, and you are left dry at the end until the rain begins to pelt.
Rashanael chastises Will for not being even more respectful. It's like, listen, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be friendly. I can't be formal and friendly at the same time. It's not my style. Will is pushed over by something invisible. Well,
aside from the sacrifice piece, I think if it's just gold, then yeah, we could have done it. But the dragon scales, that's a little bit more difficult.
yeah, that's tough. It's tough.
Tegan said all of the gold, and I'm looking at the 104 gold left in my inventory after making all those purchases.
I was gonna say, yeah, we could get rid of most of our gold pretty cool. Like we could go on a spending spree.
I don't care about my potions really, except that one. It would be ironic to be throwing a scroll of water breathing into the sea. I have had it since like level 3, and I've never used it. So,
Crash actually would be willing to do that because he only has a little bit over 500, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, that's literally nothing. I can get that back quick."
we'll talk about it. I don't know. The scales.
Yeah, the scales is the
Everybody's
difficult
money,
part.
everybody's potions.
Yeah.
I don't know. Y'all probably have much more important potions than I do.
No, I don't at least.
I mean, the
I think
only other
Belric
thing
has a
about
lot of alchemical stuff on him.
yeah, I have formulas, not
Okay.
really spell.
The
Go ahead.
real question is, does the nectar of Kosir count?
It would.
Oh fuck
No, not doing it.
no chance.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Do you think that's exactly why she asked for potions and specifically?
She's crazy. She's crazy. She's crazy.
She is one of the more eccentric goddesses.
Man, trying to be nice and friendly and polite to this goddess who's telling me all this crazy nonsense. Will is like internally screaming the whole time.
Okay, I guess we're going to war with the sea itself.
All right, we don't have to
No,
do that. It's just,
I will say that if you guys want to give it a shot, like I'm okay to dump my 700 gold pieces remaining down.
I don't want to get rid of the scales. I'm going to be
Partial
real.
success.
Like it's
That
not
is also
a
true.
big part.
That is also
Yeah.
The
I don't care
scales-
about the rest. It's just the scales and the nectar of Kosir that I'm worried about.
yeah. If it was
If
just
it was
if,
everything else, I'd be totally fine.
if we could spend our gold and then we're like, yeah, you get the next 200 gold, like that'd be good. But yeah, there's
We're
there's
also
too-
for. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm also a little biased of like, I prefer Thunder over Y. We prior campaign we had a paladin of Thunder. Thunder's cool as hell. I'd say we build a church to Thunder and fucking raise a volcano on this island, just to be like, no, it's lightning and fire here.
It's lightning and fire.
Well, we are gonna inherit if we win, inherit a place by the sea. So we want to be in our graces at some point. So this was the right move, Will. I think.
Yeah, listen, we will eventually.
We're starting a relationship.
We'll be eventually in her graces. She's all about change. If she liked us right now, that might be a bad thing for the future. But it wouldn't be. I'm stretching. I'm reaching.
No, you're good.
I would like to have that eye patch though. I'll give up an eye.
Listen, if the rest of the Gavels agrees to getting rid of the scales, Crash is willing to throw his money and a couple healing potions into the sea.
Wisteria thinks that this strategy is an inefficient use of resources.
You know what? Why don't we just call up Sona? Why don't we just do that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, why is she controlling the rain? That's Sonda's storms. That's his whole deal. Why is he letting this happen to us?
No, the storm gods. Y controls the water. Sada controls lightning and thunder. Hava controls the wind. Together they make storms. And
Yeah,
usually
I'd
because they're fighting
say-
each other. Usually
I
because
say they already come to blows a little bit. We get behind Sonda. Sonda's cool. He's honorable. He's got some awesome heroes, some great flavor. Hell, Crash even already has some Sonda flavor on here. I'm just saying that's how I feel.
How about Notisha? How about we make sacrifices for Notisha? She's cool.
I don't think Otisi's the kind of person to be like, okay, sacrifice for me. It'd be more like, hey, you found that cool knowledge? Okay, hand it over real fast, then I'll put it in the library.
Listen, it's heavy rain. You know, like I think we suck it up and then we kind of
I'm more
We
concerned
do-
about the tsunami.
I find Natasha just telling you to go read a book. That's just sacrifice. Like,
We sacrifice our stupidity.
go read a book.
May our ignorance be laid bare like a lamb, sacrificed to the goddess of knowledge, and our erudition carry us forth.
Oh, you know what? Notisha's sacrifices is things like you have to stay awake for the next 3 days reading. Like that's how you sacrifice to Notisha.
But
Sacrifice, you're reading something interesting. Like, you'll be
at the
better
same
for it.
time, though, Noticia's also a really big medic. I feel like she'd be the kind of person to be like, hey, no, take care of yourself, drink water, sleep well. Early to bed, early to rise.
But it sounds like I think I've got the vibe of the crew. You guys are not pouring your gold into the sea or descaling the ship?
No.
Sorry, that one came from the soul. I do not speak for the whole of the Gavels.
No, it was one of those
course.
things that was funny. I think Bechnet, I can see Bechnet like on the side of the ship, like just scraping scales off.
Just bought a second ship though. Like to have the goddess of the sea mad at us forever is like.
But she's not. She's fickle. She changes her mind all the time.
Yeah, no, I mean I think it's good info to have. Like I think we know that we need her on our side, especially if we have a seaside area. And yeah, maybe we after this battle we descale. I don't know. We'll see.
No, I just say genuinely what we do
It's
is
too much right now.
what we do is we genuinely do the thing she just said she wants, and that is don't pollute the sea, pray and make sacrifices whenever, not just when you want things, and be chill. And I feel like she'll genuinely forget about it. This is me coping my way.
Ebbs and flows with this god. I would feel like,
We after this is all over,
We'll catch her on an ebb.
We're gonna win the war
Or flow.
without her favor, and then Will is gonna go to a beach somewhere and flip a coin into the sea and say "fuck you."
Okay, that would get her pissed off at us forever.
I'm like, she probably would have forgotten about you guys at that point until Will goes in, flicks a coin. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
What are you saying "fuck me" for?
Earlier, but now I'm just like, if we actually did put a volcano on this island and a church de Sonda of like, yeah, lightning and fire, lava, lightning, that'd make for a sick school of magic.
I'm predicting the future. Will's gonna become friends with Y. It's stupid. It's gonna happen.
Next time we have some downtime, maybe after this war, we can see about recruiting a priest or priestess of Y to be like on retainer with the gavel.
That
Keep your ass
That's a fantastic idea.
But the thing is, it still come to the dragon. Then again, you know what? I would trade the dragon scales for a infernal dragon turtle.
Yes.
If we found a way to get one of those, it would be then and there. I'm like, you know what? We have a full-on dragon turtle. But that might be the mockery side coming out. Just the word infernal in there, and also like I like living ships and whatnot.
Have to hook up with the Reavers, figure out how they do it. Perfect. Well, as we've gotten through the crew's downtime, you guys have now, and I imagine you guys are going to use the faction downtime to train your two new, or train your recruits into two troops. Now, one of those is going to be the Bear Brigade. How do you say that? Brigade. Thank you. The Bear Brigade, which is hard to say. So what's the other one going to be? Do you guys know what other troop you would like it to be? I know Jeet was able to train one into the Red Phalanx. You've got the Bear Brigade. What's your third going to be?
I don't know enough about the options.
I'll call them.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll call them instead of the Bear Brigade, which is difficult to say. Well, they're going to be the Bruins of Fessia. It's going to be an honor.
All right.
And they'll be the Bears of Fessia, the Bruins of Fessia, and that'll be we'll train them. And then I don't know what the third is.
Perfect. And everybody, actually, roll me a d20, too. Everybody.
Nope.
The die is cast.
Oh shit! 3's good though.
Oh.
3's good in an undistinct roll.
All right. Yeah, so you guys got 3 solid ones there. With that too, I think Jeet initially mentioned this, so I'll see if he has any flavor for it. But even without spending a week for getting him up and running, you see Beshnet, especially as you guys are starting to bring in these different troops, you see him going through waving the Gavel's flag, which you guys have like let me know what's on the Gavel's flag sometime. But you see him kind of trading up. He is like running laps around, still complaining as much as he usually does, but seems to be eagerly complaining rather than pessimistically complaining. And you see he is training himself up to truly be the standard bearer of the Gavels, as he is kind of preparing to go to war with the crew.
My boy, he's getting powerful.
So we're going to bump him up to level 7 standard bearer stats, and he will join your Red Phalanx, the Bruins of Fessia, and the Unknown Legion, which will determine some other time on that side. With that too, so that's where we'll wrap up our session. Next session is going to be the start of the Reclamation War. You guys got to figure out a little bit how that will go. So make sure your B squad is up to leveled up to 6, and then kind of ready to go to war, because they're going to be stealing a ship and then turning it to fight on other ships. So make sure they are good to go there. And then make sure you guys, I think you guys have everything ready for your main PCs to go to war. And then, Reclamation Day is next. All right. So everybody come in next Tuesday. We'll kick off Reclamation Day. I think we have the next week after that off, but at least still get to start it off and see how it goes for the crew. And we'll see you all